Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy. Everybody, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 552. My name is Nick Henderson. I'm your host this evening. I'm joined, of course, by Brad Simons.
What up?
Nolan Hedstrom.
How's it going, everybody?
And once again, filling in for Crispy is Chris Davis.
Hello.
For those asking, I saw a few people in chat asking, Crispy is out. Not on assignment.
Maternity leave.
No, he's on what am I saying? He has family in town. So he's taking some time off to be with family.
Yeah, D&D family.
Oh.
I mean, that's possible.
Throwing some serious shade.
Family of dwarves.
Anyways, of course, everybody who's watching us live on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast, thank you for joining us. We record these shows live every single Thursday night at 8 p.m. or
Can I ask you
somewhere in there?
Can I ask you something, Nick?
What's up?
I know we're not. This is not like I'm not going to talk about a movie or something, but I just thought of something really funny.
Oh God!
What do you think about our podcast?
Well,
is it a good podcast for someone who just drops in like a new listener or whatever? Sometimes we talk for 15 minutes about like a Venom trailer or whatever, and that sucks, right? No, I mean,
I think it's great.
But if someone's listening to us for the first time, right? But like, do we do anything like too weird or sticky or
yes? We yell out things like "goat cum."
Yeah. No.
Well, there it is.
I'm pretty sure no one's ever yelled that on a podcast, Chris Davis, until you just did.
I was like listening to like some fucking podcast or some shit, and like they got to like a segment and they all started like sing-songing in unison, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? That's never cool. You can't just have something that like sticky and like inside. It was just like a...
Why, guys? I just want everybody to know.
Site.
I'm saying we don't do anything that like bizarre.
No.
Where all of a sudden they're like fucking acapella-ing at the intro of a fucking segment. That's just weird, man.
No, I think our show gets by on pure charm and talent alone.
Okay.
Without having to rely on
I just want to
sticks.
be sure. I'm going to be thinking about this throughout this whole fucking podcast to make sure we're not like super fucking weird, man.
No. I don't. First of all,
and to them it's like normal. Like they probably laughed all day when they came up with that. But man, as someone who was listening to it for the first time, it made me want to shut it off like instantly.
Well, now I'm just kind of like curious if there's anybody out there who's listening to our show for the first time. Email Nick at 4playernetwork.com and let me know what you think of the show. Like if this is literally your first time listening, get on your computer right now, email me and tell me what you think, and then I will tell Brad what you said, or you can email Brad. I just kind of want to know what he said as well.
Yeah.
You can CC Brad at 4playernetwork.com if you'd like. Anyways, we need to get back on track here.
Yeah.
We have a good show tonight. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about State of Decay 2. We're going to talk about that sweet new Bloodstained game. See what I did there? I said it.
I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about this thing. What if when we got to the community, we like leaned into this and we did like a round, like row, row, row your boat, and then he's like row, row, row your boat. We do something like really.
Why would we do that?
Why?
Because it's like horrifying. I don't know. You know what? I don't
think we want to destroy our listenership.
Let's just go.
I kind of like that idea, actually. Anyways, before we get too far into it tonight, there's a couple things, of course, that I want to mention. Discord.gg/4player is where you can find our community Discord. If you're not a part of it yet, you should be. It's pretty awesome. It's very active. There's lots of people in it most of the time talking about all kinds of video game stuff.
Usually using the thinking emote and the eyes emote.
If you're really into that eyes emote, it's in there.
Yeah.
And also, I want to take this opportunity to talk about E3 for a second. Because E3... What is Butters twitching?
Yeah,
he's dreaming.
Oh my god. E3 2018 is right around the corner. In fact, it's in how many days, Chris Davis? You said
15, I think.
15 days.
I'm not even going, but I'm psyched.
We're all getting pretty excited. Some of us are going, some of us are not going, but we've kind of hammered out the specifics of what we're going to be doing.
What was good for you guys? Because last year, it was kind of a bummer, right? That was the first one that was open to the public.
I think that's... They miss... their judgment on how the show would go by being open to the public was flawed.
It's gotta be
But you can definitely see them reacting to how it went last
Well,
year.
yeah,
already.
I wish they would have done that the year before when I didn't go, so that the year I did go last year, they would have perfected that, and it wouldn't have been a bad time for me.
That is true. This year, they've found a nice balancing act. But anyways, that's beyond the point. So we've kind of figured out what we're gonna do, because unlike most years, our life situations have changed quite a bit. Brad's a dad now, and some of us are not going, some of us are going. So we think we have a pretty good idea of what we're gonna be doing. So the thing is, one thing that's different: most of the people who are going are traveling on Monday instead of Sunday. And it just so happens that the press conferences this year are starting early. EA is on Saturday. Microsoft and Bethesda are on Sunday. And then we got Ubisoft, Square Enix, and Sony on Monday. So what we're going to be doing is on Sunday, we're going to be doing kind of a day stream. You can come hang out with us. I'm hoping we can start as early as like noon or something. We'll be streaming most of the day. In this room, we'll be watching the press conferences like Microsoft and Bethesda, doing a live commentary of it throughout the day. Between shows, we'll be talking about, or we'll be playing games maybe that are related to, E3, things that have been like hyped or funny or silly from E3s in the past. And maybe we'll keep that theme rolling throughout the entire week. We'll have people streaming throughout the week in between podcasts and whatnot. So, what are you doing, Brad?
No.
So we'll do of course, Jesus. We'll be doing what? Oh, Jesus. That's distracting. Anyways, we'll be doing a podcast most nights per usual. So on Sunday, we'll probably plan on doing a podcast covering our opinions of the Microsoft and Bethesda show.
Yep.
And then on Monday, the weird thing is we'll be traveling on Monday when Square Enix is happening. I think it's Square Enix. Maybe it's Ubisoft. I can't remember. But we'll be doing, when we get to LA, we'll do some live commentary.
Don't worry. I don't think you'll miss much for either of those.
You say that.
I do say that.
I honestly think, maybe more so with Square Enix, I think there's going to be some surprises.
Like what?
At Square Enix.
One example.
Nier Automata 2.
That's why it's... First of all, why do you say that? Because Nier Automata happened...
No, I'm saying I don't want that to happen.
Well, I'm just saying something along those lines could happen. This is not an E3 prediction show.
Yeah.
If you want to hear our E3 predictions, go back 2 episodes. We recorded an entire, almost 3-hour-long podcast where we talked about our predictions for the show.
I bet you one hot dog covered in peanut butter that nothing exciting is going to happen.
First of all,
I mean, Nier Automata was announced at Square Enix.
Just Cause 4 is probably going to be at Square Enix.
Yeah. And maybe Avengers.
Although I think that ought to be on like a Microsoft
dude, I think you're forgetting about the Avengers project from Crystal Dynamics. It's probably going to be at Square Enix.
I guess so.
Maybe the new Shadow of the Tomb Raider is actually going to be good.
You're probably going to see something from Final Fantasy VII. Maybe they'll show like the Shinra Tower.
I think most of the conferences had the potential to have some really great surprises. In fact, I'm getting incredibly excited for E3.
But that's a sucker's move, man.
Yeah. Hey, I mean...
Because then you're only going to be let down. And you're going to be like, oh, these were all disappointing this year.
Maybe.
They're never as amazing as we build it up in our head.
Well, I don't know about that.
I try to go in with very low expectations.
There's been like 3 or 4 years that I think were like crazy good as far as announcements go. Where like I left like super, super fucking enthused and excited about things that were coming out fairly soon. But anyways, yeah. So, like I said, Sunday we'll be doing podcast for press conferences. Monday we'll probably do the same thing, and then of course me, Crispy, and Chris Davis will be on the ground, and I think that's the plan. Me, Chris Davis, and Crispy will be.
We better be
in LA for the show. So we'll be recording podcasts from our impressions. We already have some pretty exciting appointments set up and stuff. So. Yeah, so we're pretty thrilled.
One that may have broken today, actually.
One that may have broken today.
Y'all said y'all have some exciting shit. Is CD Projekt Red one of those?
No.
Okay, well then you don't got shit
yet. But like I looked back at our thing last year about for when we set up, or not last year, but the last time we had a CD Projekt Red appointment, and we didn't have that appointment set up until it was already June. So I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't even started doing that yet. But
we know people at the PR company.
Yeah, we can also reach out to them. So
yeah,
probably should.
Also, this year you don't have our PR guy Nolan, so
have some faith.
Okay,
fairly certain. Like 10 of the behind closed door stuff
Pretty
got into
much.
last two. I made the appointments.
I want everybody to be fucking excited for E3.
I'm excited.
You got me
Goddamn.
Wolfenstein. I was very happy.
I
You're
am
welcome.
very, very, very fucking excited for E3 this year. Of course, for those of you who may not be familiar, it's the week of June. Not January. June. I guess
11th?
starting on the 10th, if you count Sunday,
Yeah.
through the 15th or 14th, because that's Thursday. So yeah, we'll be covering the event all week. We'll be streaming stuff all week and recording podcasts. Should be good. I was also going to encourage people out there if throughout the week, if there's anything that happens that's like exciting that gets you, if you have any specific questions you want to hear us, talk about on the show, any questions, comments, excitement, annoyances, grievances, whatever about the show. I would encourage you guys to email me at nick@4playernetwork.com because I'm thinking about going back over those and reading through some of those at the start of each show. And we're also going to do a community meetup. Thursday night, I think, is the plan. We usually do it the last night of E3. And we're going to probably do it the same place we've done it the past 2 years, which is Button Mash LA. So
had a good turnout last year.
Yeah, had a pretty good turnout last year. It's been pretty fun. Our E3 meetups tend to be
amazing.
They're a lot of fun, but
Button mash.
although it may be more crowded than usual because now it is open to the public. And we, like you said, we had a good turnout last year. Before, like in the years past, it was kind of hard to get a good turnout at E3 because it wasn't open to the general public. So
Yep.
But like I said, we're going to be doing stuff throughout the week
we
of
saw
E3.
that one actor at Button Mash last year.
Wait, which
Oh
actor?
yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, the one I
The dude from Marry Me.
Yeah. He's been in a lot of other things too.
He was on the
He was
summer
in Reno
camp,
911.
the summer camp movie.
What Hot American Summer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
someone pull up a picture of this person. I want to see.
He was in Reno 911. He was the one that when Deputy Dangle was he like met him. He was like looking for his dog or whatever, and then they start like kissing in his car, and then he like maces him and runs away.
Man, I don't remember this person. Someone show me the picture.
I don't remember his name.
Anyways, just like I said, E3 week's gonna be pretty exciting. So we hope you guys will join us all week long. Like I said, we'll be starting our coverage on the 10th, which is Sunday, and we'll be, talking about shit all week over at 4playernetwork.com. So, what?
I said Deputy Dangle because that's our community member. I meant Lieutenant Dangle. Yes.
Oh, you're right. That's pretty funny. I didn't even notice that either.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get to feedback because we have a few comments from our podcast last week. As always,
Ken Marino.
show me a picture. I don't know who that person is. Damn it, you just closed it. Anyways. Oh. I don't even know who that is.
This guy,
do.
Ken Marino.
I know, he just showed me the picture. I don't know who that is.
Dude.
I've never
Nick,
seen that
we saw
person
him.
before.
We saw him last year at Button Mash.
God damn it. Nolan, you're killing me.
He was with his wife and son.
Oh my god. Remember that one time on the way back from E3? Or I think it was
No,
E3?
that was going to E3 last year. We saw Billy Zane.
Yeah, at the Austin airport.
Yeah.
And then on the way back from, I think that might have been last year too. We on the plane we sat next to Zooey Deschanel's sister, Bones.
That was a few years ago.
Was it a
Yeah,
few
that
years
was
ago?
not last year.
Okay, it was a
Yeah,
couple
that's several years ago.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry, that's neither here nor there. We have feedback from last week. As always, if there's anything that we talk about tonight that you have questions, comments, grievances, like I said, whatever, you can leave a comment at 4playernetwork.com and we will read it at the start of the next show. First comment comes from Shy Tai. He said, Brad is absolutely right about Chinese food. Buffet style has a very narrow quality range from kind of awful to okay. So in general, it's the best bet because you know what you're getting. If you want quality Chinese food, you need to find a restaurant that has at least one of the following words in the title. Silver, Gold, Phoenix, Dragon, Inn, Cafe, Palace, Garden. New? Is that part of that?
Yes.
I don't know.
New. Yeah.
New? Any combination of 3 letters such as ABC or any initials.
Or a numeral.
So 3/4 of the restaurants in Austin.
I'd say that describes like most Chinese restaurants.
Happy Dragon, but hey, that's good Chinese
Happy
food.
Dragon's pretty good.
if it has a numeral as well. So if it's
888.
like Happy Dragon 2,
I don't think I've ever
You've
seen
never
one
seen that?
with numerals before, no.
yeah, where they have like they number them.
But I will say there is a place called Golden something. It's on 35. Not very good. Golden Inn, I think.
Oh. Okay. Keep that in mind. I thought you were going to say I was like,
What's the
Corral?
one that you and me and Chris, we went to that one time and they were like super rude to us?
Oh, you mean the one where we walked in and we were like the only
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's on 35 in Parmer.
Yeah.
What is that one called?
It's I don't remember, but it was.
Damn it! Now I gotta look it up. It's like
it
on
was
the tip of my tongue.
very unwelcoming. I feel like, but hey, I think I remember it being pretty.
The food
good.
was good though.
Yeah. All right. Can you scroll down, please? Equack. Our next comment comes from Equack. Says, "I'm like Brad. I download the MP3 manually and transfer it via cable to my iPod. I liked it when you hosted the podcast yourself because I could guess the file names and download them before you ever posted them officially. And yes, Nolan, I do open a new tab and type in Google. Bite me." First of all, that's weird. Second of all, I'm sorry you can no longer.
But as you're
get ahead of
typing
the
in
game.
Google, you're literally Googling Google.com.
It didn't used to be that way.
Yeah, back in like 2001.
I mean, if you're on an iPod, are you at least subscribed to us on iTunes?
So, by the way, I'm getting a lot of people who are kind of. So I've been asking for this kind of feedback, right?
Yes.
Every week, saying we just want to know more about how people found our show, how people listen to our show, basically how you get our podcast to your device.
Does everybody here have Spotify accounts?
Yes.
I don't.
I do.
But
I thought everybody would have that. How do people listen to music?
Well, I used to use
YouTube.
Spotify a lot until they started playing.
When you're driving down the road, you just have YouTube videos
Crispy
playing?
does that too. Oh no, on driving down the road? No. I'm listening to the radio.
Oh,
The radio?
commercials?
well, he listens to like talk radio.
Have you ever heard of
NPR.
Spotify? Well,
NPR has plenty of podcasts.
Yeah,
Also, you
and I listen to podcasts.
you say
too.
this,
There's
but
also
like
kind
Crispy,
of-
I've seen Crispy on numerous occasions listen to YouTube on his phone while he's driving.
Yeah, he does that shit.
That is, he has playlists set up in YouTube for driving.
God, but that's because he's listening to like Star Trek and
Like
stuff.
one of the
shit's on
one thing that
Spotify.
I've kind of picked up on from getting all this feedback from people, which by the way, I want to say thank you to everyone who has emailed me already. I've gotten quite a few emails and we really appreciate it. And of course, if you would like to write in, please email me at nick@4playernetwork.com. Just let us know how you found the show and what you like about it, maybe what you think we could improve on, whatever. That's kind of all we're trying to do here. But one thing from reading these emails and talking about Crispy, I realized people have some weird ass like habits for like how they get things. Like I just have an app, I subscribe to things, and I listen to them as they become available.
Download, yeah.
But like hearing all these stories about people downloading it to their PS3 and then uploading it to their PSP and listen, like all that weird shit.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
By the way, I remembered the Chinese restaurant is called Ho Ho.
Ho ho. Yes.
Hoa Hoa?
Ho Ho.
Ho ho.
Ho Ho?
HOHO.
Yes. Anyways, if you would like to let us know any information about how you ingest the show, email me at nick@4playernetwork.com. Last comment comes from Mr. Green Toast. He says, in regards to the issues Nick had with Rage not working properly, I still am having these problems. Rage was a terrible PC port that requires quite a bit of outside modding and console commands that for some reason were turned off in the base game, and you need to download an extension to even run the feature as well. Run that feature as well. Don't feel bad for not getting it to run during the stream, as many others have faced the same issue. That's great to hear. So when you boot up Rage on Steam, it gives you the option between playing Rage or playing the 64-bit version of Rage with mods and whatnot. So I was like, maybe I'll try that one, see if that's any better. You can't use your save that you've already started. So you have to start the whole game over again. It's like, I don't think I care about playing Rage enough to start the game again.
Did John Carmack, did he leave id before Rage shipped?
No, after.
What the fuck, John Carmack?
He left in 2012, I think.
By the way, I'm still...
What happened to the genius programming prodigy? What the fuck is this shit?
I don't know, but like...
He left and stole code from id and Bethesda.
Allegedly. But like, here's the real thing, though. Like, does it matter much? Because we got Doom and it was great, and now I'm excited to see what they're doing again. So like...
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Doesn't really matter much. I am, by the way, still having those problems. Like... And it's most people on Twitter are saying that it's mostly like graphical hiccups with the PC version, but I'm having nothing but audio issues. And like I said, you recommended before the show trying to verify the files. Maybe I'll do that and see if it helps. But like I'm blowing shit up and explosions aren't making noises. You can't hear my footsteps when I'm running. The car doesn't make noise when you're driving. It's bizarre.
Nick.
Yep.
You have tinnitus. You have really soft shoes. Electric car. Rage is just the future.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
I mean,
it is actually the future. Good
like
call.
130 years in the future.
Good call.
Yeah.
These were all intentional design choices. Thank you. Anyways, thank you guys for your feedback from last week. Like I said, if you want to leave a comment after tonight's episode, head on over to 4playernetwork.com. Leave us a comment, and we'll read it at the start of the next show. So, I haven't played anything, so I know you guys have a lot of stuff. I want to hear about State of Decay 2.
Oh, okay.
It's not the newest game.
I don't give a shit. I'm starting with State of Decay 2.
Is that
It
it?
is-
I can't actually read it.
What?
The font is so small.
Oh, that's Pillars of Eternity. No, it's right above it.
Right above it? Okay, cool.
And
You know, it'd be nice, Chris.
boom,
is
there
if
it
you had
is.
just like a little device with buttons on it
Fuck
that you could click. And you
I
could just
haven't figured it out yet.
Oh my god.
Have you
had,
taken it
like-
out of the box?
You've had like a year.
Okay.
No, that's bullshit.
Let's rein
I'm
this
sorry,
back
Chris.
in.
How long has it been then?
Let's
It's probably
rein-
been about 2 months, okay?
Let's
2
rein
months
this
is a long time.
Calm your tits.
How much Division have you played in the past 2 months?
Actually, probably only about 5 hours.
How much Metal Gear Survive?
Let's not talk about that.
Oh my! Are you still playing
those
that?
games?
No, I've uninstalled it. I've lost
Division?
faith.
Guys, did y'all see my
All
picture
right.
last
You
night
had which one?
of my setup that I posted on Twitter?
Uh-uh.
I finally got like my setup, like my room put back together, and I
Yeah.
did all this like cable management shit. There was one point last night where I was standing in between like my TV stand, the wall where I have my TV mounted,
Sure.
and I have all these cables going from like in between, and I was like, if I move right now, I could rip everything off this wall,
Nice.
and I was scared I wasn't gonna make it out, but I made it out. My room looks beautiful now.
Cool.
It's fantastic. Anyways, State of Decay 2.
Stay at
Did Chris Davis just write my name in his death note? Is that what he's doing over there?
Kinda, yeah.
So Chris
I
Davis
have
and
a
I
question.
have been
Okay.
playing State of Decay.
State of Decay 2.
Potatoes. State of Decay 2. We've actually done some co-op together.
It took a long time to get that co-op
It
working.
did take a while. I will say that was on my end due to Microsoft being stupid. Because Microsoft has some weird fucking thing that goes on in the background that you have to have running in order to play multiplayer games. And for some reason it like got uninstalled on my computer, and it doesn't really tell you it's uninstalled. And it took me like literally like 3 hours to fix it.
Jesus.
Finally fixed it, and then Chris Davis and I got to play some.
Yeah,
And I will say that it's pretty good.
it's not bad.
You're a big fan of State of Decay 1.
So I will say, gun to my head right now, I would play State of Decay over State of Decay 2.
I would agree with that
say
statement.
So I have many reasons. So hold on. So don't get me wrong. There are many improvements in this game. I like a lot of the things they added to the base. It is much more complex. You have people that have needs and desires, and people will get in fights with each other. Like, oh,
Desires.
this person doesn't like that they don't have a watchtower, so he's just going to start shit.
Yeah.
Or this person has a really bad fashion sense, and he's bringing everyone else's morale down. So I literally kicked him out of my community.
Real quick, before we get too far into like the kind of the
Sure.
nuts and bolts of the game, for those people who maybe don't know what State of Decay is,
Sadly.
open
State of Decay
world
2 is
zombie-
from Undead Labs. Came out. The first one came out 2011,
sounds right.
No, 12.
2012. Okay,
Also
Maybe-
sounds right. So
around then. And it's a zombie survival game, more focused on the survival than the zombies. Honestly, the zombies are just kind of there.
kind of an afterthought.
Exactly. It's just more of a, get out of my way, zombie. I'm trying to do shit. It's kind of
To a point.
Every once in a while, shit can go bad, and all of a sudden you're getting swarmed by zombies. But yeah, so that was the whole point of the first game had kind of more story than this does.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely does.
So the first game, you're a person, and you were on like a camping trip, and shit goes wrong, and then you meet some people, and there's this guy who's running a community, and he's kind of an ass, and his daughter's like, I know my dad's an ass, but whatever. And there's actually like a story that's going on. Whereas in this, there's not really a story.
They're all generated characters. Like, the only, like, story characters are, like, people you hear on the radio. You never really, like, encounter story characters in this, and it's kind of nuts.
That's
Yeah.
kind of that's
But
kind
I mean,
of a
it's
bummer.
not like
But
the
so-
story was
so-
the reason you cared.
No,
about
and
it.
it wasn't. It definitely wasn't. And I
No,
think
but it was a very nice background.
I think they recognized that, and they put a lot more focus on a lot of the mechanics. There are way more
They
mechanics.
definitely
in this game.
deprioritized it
Yes.
this time around.
So, like I said, bases are way more complex, like 10 times more complex than they were in the first game. There are way more units you can build. You can upgrade them with certain things. You can find mods in the world. So, say, you have like a medical unit, you can find like a mod that you add onto that unit that, like, I don't know, like.
Say you have a
something-
garden. I have a garden,
garden.
and I find a water cooler where I can store water. I can mod the garden with the water cooler, fill it up once a day, and if I've got seeds going in there, I can double my food output.
Exactly.
Oh.
So there's some really cool
You couldn't
mechanics.
do anything like that in the first one?
No. The first game was much more simple than that.
It was really the first game was really meant more for like crafting stuff.
Yeah.
Not really like any other purpose.
Correct. And so, once again, so bases are much more complex. You can have a lot more different buildings you can build. A lot of them require many more different skills, so you need to have survivors that have a certain skills. To upgrade your command center, where you have your radio and stuff, they need to have they need to be skilled at a certain level in computers. So if you don't have anybody, maybe you find a book in the world that teaches someone how to do computers, so you can teach someone.
If they have a spare skill slot.
Which kind of fucking sucks. But yeah, like I said, way more mechanics. But in my opinion, they added too many mechanics. I am almost overwhelmed with how much shit there is. And that's one of the main reasons I would almost prefer the first one, because it's simple. While some of the new mechanics are cool and all, some are frustrating. Gas is extremely frustrating for me. I just fart all the time. No, I'm just kidding. In the game, there's gas. In the first game, now, a car can be destroyed permanently and it's gone forever. In this, cars can be destroyed and they're gone forever. But you can also run out of gas while you're driving down the road.
Oh, so you couldn't run out of gas in the first one?
There was no concept of gas in the first game.
Every car is a fucking gas guzzler.
And holy shit, cars in this game get like a mile to the gallon. It is ridiculous. Like, so many missions will have you go from one side of the map to the other.
Yeah.
Like, maybe one tank of gas.
Maybe there's just not that much gas in the vehicle.
And that's fine. The thing is, you get gas cans in the world and you can fill up your tank, but you can only fill it up to like a certain amount. And like, I guarantee you, we will, in the not too distant future, be seeing a patch to this game that either reduces the amount of gas that's used or something else. There's something is going to affect gas, or I'm going to have to find someone who's made a mod that gets rid of gas, because it is super frustrating.
See, that's funny, because I've been reading a lot about, all the Days Gone coverage and everything, and they're talking about gas being a major feature in that game, but the difference there is you have one vehicle that you take throughout the entire game. And
exactly.
So you're not really in danger of, like, losing the vehicle, but, like, it's added stress because you have to make sure you're keeping an eye on your gas tank, and that sounded really interesting to me. But it sees like it's a totally different case here, because you're constantly having to switch vehicles, and it doesn't take you very far.
And you're going to find a variety of vehicles. You'll probably find like 12 in a playthrough.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different types of vehicles in the game. Which
they all
can
have keys conveniently in them, or do you have to
yes,
hotwire them?
they all have keys. The thing is,
maybe even stuff in the trunk too.
Yeah, so sometimes, that's the one new mechanic they added was trunks. There was no concept of trunks in the first game. No, I say that it did. I think in
vanilla version, and after Breakdown, they added the ability to store packs and stuff.
Correct. So in I can't remember which DLC was it.
I think Breakdown.
You could store duffel bags of materials in it, but you couldn't store any other items. In this, you just have a trunk that has X amount of slots in it.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, has X amount of slots in it, and that's what you can put in there. And different vehicles have different size trunks. You saw me driving like a minivan. I think that's the largest trunk in the game. It has 8 slots.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll find cars that have like 4, and like 4 is not that much.
Doesn't sound like a lot.
But yeah,
but usually when they have those slots, it's a trade-off of speed and armor and things like that.
Correct. This van, oh my god, like it is very, it gets broken very easily. And so that's another thing they added, is you can repair vehicles with toolkits. Honestly, I liked it better in the first game, because if you had an upgraded workshop, when you parked a vehicle at your base, it would slowly over time get repaired.
Yeah.
I like that concept. That doesn't happen in this. Any vehicle damage you have to manually repair before the car explodes, which kind of brings up a point. I don't know if
so if you just leave it there long enough, it'll eventually just explode?
No, if it takes enough damage, it will explode.
Yeah.
I don't know if Chris Davis was there when my car exploded. I think it might have been I was casting or something, and I was
Maybe
backing
not.
around. Shit started going wrong. Like fucking hell was breaking loose. I jump in my car. I hit something, and then it slams me into like a guardrail, and then my car flies 1,000 feet up in the air on fire, and I land, and it explodes.
as one does in real life.
But I will say the game is definitely a little more glitchier than the first game, and I think it's because they added a lot. I think it's just because like this, I can't hop over that thing, and I think it's just because they added so many more.
Was that zombie just killed like a small child?
But it's so weird, because like I've always just assumed that like best case scenario or worst case scenario. Well, yeah. I thought that this has been in development for a long time. I thought we get like, hey, maybe it'll just be more State of Decay with more systems. Mm-hmm. But since they've worked on it for so much longer, and they're probably bigger now, that first one was really successful. Like, it's probably going to be less glitchy.
I know. So here's what I think happened, Brad, is I think they just got too ambitious. They're like, oh, now let's add this and let's add. We have the time. We have the people.
The development time and development time and resources were probably spent more on trying to expand the features of the game as opposed to polishing.
That's what I think happened. I think they just were like, this is a cool concept. Let's add this. And in a world like this, when things are random and things just kind of happen, glitches are way more prone to happening just because so much of it is just like auto-generated by computers, and it's more complex. And so Bernadette is in chat, and she actually brought up a good point, that in my base, I had 6 beds. And then all of a sudden, randomly, it decided I only had 2. And so I had 7 people, but one of them had a special trait that she actually can sleep anywhere, so she doesn't take up a bed slot, which is cool. I love that they added that. That's a cool feature. But the game glitched out and it said I only had 2. No matter what I did, if I moved, I tried to like delete an output, like get rid of an outpost that I gave extra beds to my base. No matter what I did, it only said I had 2, which meant people were constantly complaining that they weren't getting sleep. And like it's still right now in this game right here. If you were to see me pull up the map and look at my base settings, you'll see it says I have 2 beds, and then it will list 6 beds right next to it.
Well, but I ran into some game breaking stuff in the first game.
Oh no, yeah,
some shit happened with like hordes spawning and stuff, or the nest spawning or whatever.
Yeah,
and like I couldn't
infestations.
Yeah. I couldn't like cull them. Like it was like broken in my game.
And that's another good point. There's been multiple times where I've had infestations happening that I couldn't see. Like when Chris Davis was playing multiplayer in my game, he could see infestations that I didn't know existed.
When you say infestations...
So an infestation is a random event that occurs where a house somewhere in the world will be infested by zombies. And essentially, usually what that means is there's a special zombie there, most likely a screamer, and then X amount of smaller zombies. And you have to go in there and kill all of them, and then the infestation is gone.
But if you don't clear it out fast enough, that infestation will spread to other local properties.
Yes.
So it kind of propagates.
And it'll become tougher.
And your community members get a negative status effect from it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one thing. And so here's another big thing for me. In the first game, you had a base. This is your base. There's multiple ones throughout the world you can choose. You have to spend a lot of influence. Influence is like currency in this game. You gain influence by doing quests for people and selling things and whatever. You build this base, and then you can have outposts. And outposts are like a smaller version of your base. You can do not as much there. You can return items to your overall storage, and the outpost provides a small area of safety.
Yeah.
One of my biggest problems with this game is that safety area is like maybe 1/10 of the size it was in the first game. Yeah. Like in the first game, when you made an outpost, there was a pretty big area where there aren't going to be zombies here. And it's a thing.
And you could upgrade that to where like you can place mines around it or increase the range of defense.
That at least where I'm at in this game, that doesn't exist. There are literally zombies constantly like 10 feet from my base. And there's like nothing I can do about it. In the first game, if you put up an outpost with a sniper on it, any zombie that got within like 10, like maybe 50 yards of your base, besides a horde that was incoming, would be shot and killed, and they're just done.
So, my question is, how much of this feels like stuff that you think they're probably going to patch versus just the game?
So like
there's got to be some patches.
They're gonna patch a shit ton. They have to.
I intend to wait.
I have a bug going on in my games in which I will start a quest line with a character, and it will be a character-specific quest line. So I'll have like my main character who's the leader, she's a sheriff, and she goes on this quest line to go help another group of survivors. I'll enlist somebody to help me from the community. I'll get a follower.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as I leave my base, or I like exit a vehicle sometimes, that character will disappear. It will appear on the minimap.
That happens to me.
But it essentially won't be there at all.
Huh.
And so I have to log out of the game and log back in for that character to appear again.
Yeah.
And so I'm logging in like half half a dozen times a day playing this fucking thing.
That happens to me too, and it's not even like a follower from another base. It's like literally someone who's like one of my people. They're part of my community.
Yeah.
And usually when you explore in this game, you don't go out by yourself. You bring someone just because they don't help as much as they are a distraction for the zombies.
Yeah.
They have somewhere else to go, so it gives you a little more breathing room. And multiple times it's occurred that they've just disappeared. Now, once again, you see them on the minimap, which means I can't recruit anyone else. Mm-hmm. I can't dismiss them because I can't interact with them.
Yeah.
And then I don't have that extra follower with me.
Gotcha.
So, Brad, to answer your question, I don't know. Brad asked what went wrong. I don't know.
Well, you know what this reminds me of? Mm-hmm. It reminds me of like Recoil, where like a smaller game got too big for its britches, and Microsoft got tired of giving them time and money, and so they just kind of put out a kind of a rough product.
That's certainly possible, yeah.
And isn't Recoil like a totally different experience now if you go back and play it? Haven't they?
Well, it's
I feel
better. I mean, it's better. They did a definitive edition, but they also did that thing with the first State of Decay, and it sounds like maybe I should wait on this one too.
Brad, I would say so, and honestly, I might be at the point where I stop.
You think any of the stuff, like any of the game breaking stuff, not game breaking?
I guarantee you,
the game breaking stuff is like the first thing they patch.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I played State of Decay when it first came out, and it was pretty fucking glitchy, but I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
I revisited it when the Year 1 Survival Edition came out.
Hard to
it's not actually. I played it like 2 years ago. It's not as bad as you think.
This may sound terrible of me, but like maybe graphics hoary a little bit, but like this game, I feel like I kind of want to play this one because it kind of looks nicer.
It does. It looks good.
It looks like it animates nicer. Like the zombies.
There's definitely like leaps and bounds improvements in terms of animations and character design, and even the environments, the vehicles,
and that kind of makes me feel inclined to just kind of wait a little bit.
But that's what I'm saying is I think they spread out what they were trying to develop too much. They were spread way too thin, and they didn't have enough time to get some core mechanics. There was an infestation near my base, and Chris Davis and I were trying to take it out, but a zombie spawned in the wall. And I couldn't kill it, so you can't get rid of the infestation.
So we had to wait for like its head or like an arm to poke out through the
every
wall.
Every once in a while, a piece of its body would pop out, and I'd get a pop-off on it.
It clipped through the geometry just enough that you could actually hit it.
But that's what I'm saying. And I want to love this game. I really do. State of Decay was one of my favorite games of that year. I don't remember where it was on my list, but I know it was pretty fucking high. And I have always been a fan of Undead Labs. Anytime I see them doing some event, like they're streaming or something, I always try and jump in because I like what they're doing.
I feel like the problems that we're experiencing are going to be fixed by the time the first DLC's out.
Oh, I agree as well. There's I don't know.
Give it a month or two, it'll probably be like a much more...
Don't get me wrong. There are still things I love about this game. That's why I've played as much of it as I have so far. Just because even though it is glitchy and buggy, I still want to keep playing.
I feel like the shooting mechanics look like they're pretty satisfying.
No, the shooting's
good.
In this game.
You just gotta
in the first
remember it's all about scavenging, so you're gonna have be
Not
low
just that,
ammo.
but the melee stuff felt good in the first game.
And
the one thing
it's janky, but it still feels good.
The one thing I will say that is a little off balance with this game is the new type of zombie in the game. So the main
let's talk about that.
The main focus of the story this time around is that your town that you go to is infested with what's called blood hearts.
So this is a continuation of the first game. This is the world has evolved, but the zombies have evolved as well.
Are you in the same place, or is this a different location?
Different locations. Same universe, though. Same world.
Yeah.
So the world has become infested with these plague hearts, which put out these zombies that have the ability to infect your character with the virus.
Sounds like a zombie.
And if you get bit too much or hurt too much by them, you can contract the plague, which if you do not cure them immediately, because you can find the materials to cure them, they will turn.
That sounds like a zombie.
It's not quite the same. So zombies work a little bit differently in this universe. Mm-hmm. And so they made it to where if you interact with a plague zombie too much, just like if they touch you, you'll kind of get a little bit infected, and over time that will slowly go away.
It's like radiation.
Exactly. Like if you're too close to like the plague cart thing, it can affect you negatively. There's a lot of things that can happen, and the whole point of that is, if you the more you're around them and the more they touch you, the faster it will happen. And like Chris Davis, if you become infected, you're going to turn. And the thing is, I still like that they did that in this game compared to the first one. No one matters.
Yeah.
None of these characters are important. You will get attached to certain ones with certain abilities just because you prefer them.
Or you've leveled up like a hell of a lot.
Do they say cool things?
Some of them do.
And are you saying that's different from like the first one? They did matter.
No, they didn't. I'm saying I still like that they're doing that. And here's another thing that is kind of negative in my opinion. In the first game, while you were out, you would lose stamina because you've been out too long. So you'll drink some coffee, and that'll restore it a bit, like temporarily. But then it'll start going down. You have to drink more to keep it up longer. That's not really in this anymore.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you've been out too long, your stamina will go down, and you can't get it back up at all.
No coffee?
No. There are energy things, but they are for when your stamina is temporarily down.
Yeah.
Like if you just ran a bunch and you need a quick boost, you can take that and it'll boost it back up immediately.
How was nighttime stuff in this game? Because I remember that was
oppressive.
Holy shit. It is dark as fucking
good.
Like it is crazy dark in this game at night. That's like it is like to a point where I actually ended up turning
Dying Light Dark.
I ended up turning up my gamma
Dragon's Dogma
like
dark.
yes,
Dying Light dark, but like imagine without that sonar ability to see things.
Like it is dark
and
as
no
fuck.
no lighting in the buildings either.
And it didn't get that dark in the first Decay?
No.
I'm wondering how much of that was
darker.
like kind of inspired by what they did with Dying Light.
Maybe.
Now.
Or it might
like
have been like just a balance thing with
but
HDR and all
I
that.
do like that. That is the thing. Like when you're driving around at nighttime and you have your car's headlights on, you can see like just what's in front of you. And I liked the one thing that kind
Do
of sucks
zombies
about
get more
that,
aggressive and stuff at night? Or
not necessarily.
Actually, it does feel like they move faster and attack faster.
I feel like there might be more of them at night, maybe.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing that's also a pet peeve of mine is when you stop your car and get out, the headlights turn off, and I wish they kind of stayed on.
Yeah.
Just because
that's your light source.
sometimes, I want to pull up to a house and point the car at it, and I just want to have a little bit of light because it is so fucking dark.
Yeah.
What do you just carry like a flashlight or?
So everyone has a flashlight on them. It does not illuminate that much space. But yeah, you do have one.
Yeah.
They still have all the old like special zombies, the Screamer, the Juggernaut, which is a fucking bitch.
The Bloater's
still there, and he's the one that explodes and
the usual suspects,
and
for zombie types.
the Feral,
the
Hunter, the Smoker,
exactly.
Basically,
I don't think they've added any new ones to my knowledge.
I mean,
least.
other than like the plague
plague
zombies, like.
But yeah, so
which by the way becomes a problem because the primary focus of the story of every run of this game is you have to wipe out all the plague hearts that are in your town. Every time you wipe out a plague heart, it just adds more random plague zombies on the map to where when you get to like the final heart in the game, you're seeing like a plague zombie for like one for every like 5 regular zombies.
Oh wow.
It can be over fucking whelming.
But yeah, so I still really enjoy this game. But I'm probably going to wait a little while before I actually commit too much. I've maybe put, 8 hours into it.
Yeah.
Is it still super addictive?
Oh, God, yeah. That's why I want to stop.
Man.
It's because it's addictive, but then I'll run into like a glitch. And it's like,
but I feel like you're better served waiting a little bit because like if it is truly... Like, it seems like the foundation is there for it to be a really great experience, and you clearly like the series and all this. But like, if you're gonna play it and get addicted to it, wait until it's a better.
We have a good relationship
product.
with Undead Labs.
Oh yeah,
I probably could have gotten this for free. I didn't. I bought the deluxe version of this because I like that company and I want to support them, and so I bought it just so I can give them my money. Because even though like I could probably fucking message Sonya right now and she'd be like, yeah, what's up? But I don't feel like I need to because I care about them and I want them to do well and I want them to profit.
They're doing great things.
And so that's the biggest frustration I have is just that I want it to be good and it's tough.
I want to mention.
Hey Sonya, I like you guys too, but I can't afford this. So.
I want to
hook me up.
Let me mention 2 more things here real quick. First off, one of the really cool things they added to your characters in the game is the ability to upgrade their status in the community.
Yeah, I do like that.
So the more you use them, the more stats they get in the community to where they go from being a citizen or a recruit to a hero. Yeah. And if you use them enough and you choose to take advantage of their special ability, you can promote them to the leader of the community. And when you do that, they get their own special quest lines. They get their own entire focus of like part of the story of a run. And you get special bonuses on top of that. Mm-hmm. So my main character, her status was like, she wanted to be a sheriff. Like she wanted to protect the people of the town, prevent them, save them from zombies and looters, and help all the various factions and things like that. That's one of the 4 leader modes. You don't have to go with that. You can go with like the warlord, who is all about scrounging up as much ammunition and guns as possible and just fucking wiping the town out of zombies or things like that. Well,
I was just to add on to that because this reminded me.
Yeah.
There are a lot more humans in this world you interact with than compared to the first one.
There's a
The first
lot
one,
more survivor
You
enclaves.
just randomly would found someone, and sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, help me, you help me," and then they're gone. But in this, you'll find like groups of survivors who don't want to join you; they want to do their own thing. And so sometimes they'll be like, "Hey, we have something to sell you if you want," or "Hey, we could use some gas." And sometimes they're like, "Hey, fuck you, give us fuel." And you're like,
Yeah.
no. And they're like, fuck you, give us fuel. And you're like, no. And then they start shooting at you. And now you're fighting
yeah.
fucking people. And that's one of the things I love about this game
Yeah.
is the fact that you can have a relationship with another group of people that can fluctuate up and down as to how much they like you or dislike you. And you'll have community members, and I know it's kind of random, but you'll have community members in your group that's like, hey, dude, like, don't help them. Like, they're not cool. Like, I don't like that you're doing that. But if you help them, that might be a negative effect on your community member.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I told you don't help them, and you did, and now he's upset, which brings down to your community's overall like
It's like
satisfaction
The Walking
and stuff.
Dead, man.
Honestly, that is definitely Walking Dead vibes from it, but
So-
I like it.
So later in the game, for example, I ran into an enclave called the Cleavers, and they had taken up residence in a previous home site that I'd started the game with. And they just wanted food initially, and I was such good friends with them after a while. They said, come on by. We've got a little present for you. And they gave me...
Well, that sounds like a trap.
They gave me a pack of food. And I looked at the description and said, package of mystery meat. And I'm like... And she's going on like...
God.
Don't spoil
This is you're getting dangerously close to spoiler
I'm
territory.
not spoiling, because that's the thing. These things are all random.
It's random generated.
It's randomly
so-
generated.
Yeah.
Like, these are not key story pins. So I look at the description, it says, you don't know what this meat is, but she says it's life-changing, so it's probably pretty good. So I took it back to my base, nothing happened. She calls me a little bit later and says, can you meet me at this restaurant? We want to clear out the zombies and take it over and get some more food going on. You go there, there's no fucking zombies. But they're all there, and they're like, bitch, you're about to be dinner. And they all fucking turned on me and just started shooting the shit out of me and my partner.
And that's all randomly generated?
That's random, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And so once again, this game is ambitious as fuck.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff, I think, it works well. But I think there's too much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really want to wait a little while for them to perfect a lot of that, to figure out what's going on with gas.
I bet within a month or two, this will have some pretty significant patches.
Probably. I'll probably wait till maybe even a little bit later in the year.
They've really got to balance the end game because, okay, I'm not spoiling anything here, but they warn you. They warn you at the end that you are going to go into the final mission. You don't know what it is, but they prompt you, says, warning, you're about to take on this mission if you continue further. If you do this, you better be done with your fucking community. And you better be fucking done with your community.
Wait, so you're saying you ignored it and then you're like mad that you did?
No, you don't understand.
Did you
See,
get
I
Fable
went into
3?
the end game. I completed the end game. I got my end game cutscene. Roll credits. Okay? It starts a new game. I get to pick 3 of my survivors from my group, and I get to use my leader's ability, which gives me a special bonus towards my next playthrough. So it's like New Game Plus, basically.
It's kind of like Into the Breach.
So
like
you
when
do
finish
that.
the thing and
I
then-
get launched onto another one of the maps I hadn't played yet, and I'm like, okay, well, this is cool. I'm going to log out. I want to see what's going on with back of my other community. No, it overwrites that community.
But
they're fucking gone.
That's fine. I mean, that's
No, it would be fine if it would take up another save slot, okay? But it doesn't. It literally overwrites and deletes your previous community.
You just made it sound like it told you it was going to do that.
I mean, not explicitly like that.
I guess
Well,
they
like
could be a
told
little
us
more
that.
explicit about the fact that.
Yeah.
Wait, so are there multiple maps?
I
there's
also
3.
There's 3.
Oh.
Everything you've been seeing on this, Nick, that's
one map.
one of 3 maps.
I
Oh.
also don't mind waiting a little while to play this because I have so many other things
Yeah.
to play, Nick.
And this is his transition to...
I would actually, let's talk about that game that came out last night.
Oh, okay, that one.
No, you don't want to start with that one?
No, it's
Hey,
fine.
I have a
it's
game
fine.
that comes out next week. That's
It's
like the
fine.
even newester game.
It's fine. We'll talk about.
But you have talked about that
We'll
one
talk
before.
about the game that came out last night.
Just talk about something, Brad, please.
So,
I feel like Brad's moving real slow tonight.
It's are y'all familiar with Bloodstained Curse of the Moon?
I think we're all backers, aren't we?
Yeah.
If you're not, it's because I intended to bring it up as a news topic last week and the week before, but it kept getting forgotten.
First of all, it was only on the dock 1 week, and that was last week.
Sure. I'd blame Chris Davis. He had the overlay.
Wait, what?
You had the
Brad,
overlay.
Brad, just talk about the game.
Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Y'all know what this is? You heard about this?
Yes. We're all backers. We have the game. Well, kind of.
This is not blood. This is not Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Correct.
This is a. This was a what is it? A stretch goal?
Yes.
Yeah.
A stretch goal, and one of their stretch goals was a retro Classicvania style spinoff, and that's what this is. This is a Classicvania.
This is from Inti
creates.
Inti. I don't know why.
This is not, and you know, Inti creates. They did Mega Man 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're a fucking factory for these kinds of games, man.
Yeah.
But aren't they also
fucking
involved
turn
with
them
like
out.
Shovel Knight and stuff? Or
No. That's
My number 9,
that's
you're
my
thinking.
number 9. These guys did last year. They did Blaster Master Zero, which was a kind of a retro sequel to an old style game.
Yeah.
And you know, back in the day, they did the Mega Man Zero games and stuff. So I mean, they've always done these old school games. I guess currently they're most known for like the Azure Striker Gun Vault games and shit like that.
Yeah.
But so this is a very much a retro style Classicvania, like an NES Castlevania, and this is not the style of Castlevania game that like I fell in love with. I mean, I've always kind of admired them, you know, for being a certain pace of game, you know, back in the day. I couldn't really play them because they were so hard, and you had lives and stuff.
You had to get good.
And even then, they were like so deliberate. It wasn't like Mega Man where you're jumping around, you have tons of air control, and you're like spamming your fire. You know,
Symphony of the Night. This is not.
No. Every attack was very slow and deliberate in those old Castlevania games. Like your jump, once you jump, you're committed to that arc. You can't change directions. You can't control yourself in the air. If you're jumping towards a moving platform and you don't time it right, you're just gonna fall into a hole because you don't really have control. So they made that style of game. Now, more specifically, this is a throwback to Castlevania 3, and I say that because that was the one old school Castlevania game on the NES where you could recruit different characters and switch between them on the fly.
Yeah.
Now in that game you could play up to 4 characters, but you can only have 2 at once depending on which of the alternate paths you took. You know, and that's the game that introduced Alucard. He was one of them. He could turn into a bat and like shoot fireballs and stuff. And you had a spell user, and you the main character was a whip user. You know, a Belmont style. You know, whatever, right? And this game not only has that switching mechanic, but a lot of the archetypes are very similar. There is an Alucard-like, a person who could turn into a bat. You know, you have a whip user who's actually the main character of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night proper, you know, the Lady Miriam. And I think the character you play
can play as her in this game?
Yeah, she's one of the characters.
You play as
she's
one
the
of 4
purple girl.
characters.
That's her right there, the purple girl. But you know, these are NES throwback style graphics.
It's
so.
kind of like the original TMNT or NES game. You could choose between 4 characters to play as.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's mostly like Castlevania.
Except you're actually
Castlevania 3.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying.
But like, you know, she could jump a lot higher. She has like really good range and stuff. And each character has different sub weapons too that you get. So there's a lot of like varying play styles. And you switch between them on the fly. They have different like life bars, links and stuff. Like hers is not as long as the main characters, and it's pretty cool. I've heard some complaints that you have to kind of like that style of game. To be honest, because it's not even like Super Castlevania on the Super Nintendo or Rondo of Blood. I mean, it's very throwback.
Man,
like the jump committal, the fact that you can't jump off of stairs.
Oh
Yeah, okay.
You know that's
So this is really funny because today before I came to the show, I decided to, because I have a temporary Steam code, because this is also kind of in the news. Like, they were supposed to be releasing the codes today for backers, and they didn't. If you requested a console version, whether PS4, Switch, whatever, they didn't have the codes ready yet. So they gave everybody temporary Steam codes that are good until June 8th. So I decided to download the game, and I booted it up, having never really played this style of game, to be totally honest.
Yeah, but see that. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm realizing watching your footage here, because I thought something was wrong with my game. I was like, I'm moving so slow. Like, this character is dreadfully slow. I can't stand it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play this game.
Welcome to the 8-bit era.
I know.
Yeah.
That's just like I didn't play these types of games back here, so like going back now and trying to play them
this
is so
not
painful.
even like this might look like a Shovel Knight or something, but Shovel Knight is way more.
Well, it's a modern
Yeah,
game
of
that
course.
looks like.
I mean, I've
an
played
old
more
game.
Shovel Knight
This
than
is
I've
an
played
old.
Classic
but it's not
Castlevania.
even like like Mega Man. Like I said, like for you to enjoy this game, you have to have had enjoyed those old Castlevania games, or been curious about them, had an admiration for them, like want that style of game, because there is a very different feel to Castlevania than other NES games.
I mean, like the thing is, I'm still interested in playing this. It's just like, also I couldn't get the controller to work.
See, I
properly.
wouldn't recommend it for you. I mean, you
But I
couldn't
mean, I
even get
got it.
into
It's
Shovel
free. Why
Knight.
not?
Well, sure, but I don't even see you playing through this, because it could be really punishing. Now, it's not as hard as like
Now I'm gonna do it just because.
an actual. See, I got hit while I was in the air. You just fall
Knocked back, fall in a hole.
Knocked back, fall into a hole. Now there's an easy mode that turns that off. Or no, it's like normal mode. Or I don't know what they call it. I'm on veteran, but there's a mode that actually turns back off the knockback and the live system. But I don't know if I recommend that, because it's already not as hard. Even on veteran, it's not as hard as an actual.
I feel like I'm way more
classic Vania, and definitely not even close to as hard as Castlevania 3, because each of you ultimately get 4 characters. This is only the second level, and I only have 2. You ultimately get 4 characters at one time, and they all count as like a life. You have a life system, right, where you have like 3 lives to get through a level, and you could accrue more. But
I feel like I'm way more inclined to play
here.
this game on the Switch.
I'm sure it'd be great on the Switch.
Well, sort of, actually. Not entirely, because there's still a proper D-pad. I got it on the Switch because that was the only way I could play it last night. Because I can only really play it on my lunch today. So I got it on the Switch. And, I've had to play with an analog stick, because you can't really use those D-pad buttons. They don't really work for this style of game, and it's been kind of frustrating. It's not as bad with Castlevania, because it's a little bit slower and more deliberate. Like, I can't imagine like playing something like Mega Man or whatever on that analog stick. But like I was saying, each of the characters is a life. So you don't only have the 3 lives or the 4 lives. You also have you could play each time a character dies, you go back to the last checkpoint, and you just don't have that character. I'm switching here. But the cool part about that is you might get used to like a certain character to get you through different types of situations easier. Like for example, she's really good because she has a long range, but if she dies, you don't start the level over. You just go back to your last checkpoint with this other character, and now all of a sudden you're playing this differently, because you're using a character that you weren't really relying on before. So it adds kind of like a wrinkle to
instead of just kind of like learning from, not necessarily learning from your mistakes, you're kind of being forced to play a different style.
Which is honestly kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Sounds cool.
And I'm always kind of digging it once I'm kind of forced to use a character I'm not necessarily comfortable with. And after the footage, I did unlock the Sypha analog, which is a wizard type character who has very short range and is kind of weak, but has like really powerful spells.
So my question for you, I know you haven't played much of this yet, but like I know in the past you kind of expressed concern about the larger Bloodstained project.
Yeah.
Does this game give you any kind of feeling?
First of all, I don't think this is
that,
as good as like a classic Castlevania. I mean, I think honestly the level design seems a little weak compared to say like Castlevania 3 from what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay. But it's like nothing compared to like a Shovel Knight.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is like way better than this. Is just kind of like a fun nostalgia thing that I'm surprised actually got made, because it was just like this weird little stretch goal.
Yeah.
Stretch goal. I mean, it's not a main game.
It's indie creates, and they're good at stuff like this. So I'm not too surprised. I'm still a little worried about the proper game, because I expect way more from that.
Yeah.
And that
I'm sure
has
it will have one.
that has that can fall way harder. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm obviously gonna keep playing through this game. I tend to stream it tomorrow on my stream. I might use this as kind of the launching point for me playing through all the old classic Vanias.
Oh wow.
The old Castlevania games. finished very few of them actually because that just wasn't my thing. Symphony of the Night is where I fell in love with the series.
So you're talking about playing through all the pre-Symphony of the Night games?
Yeah, which is very painful.
Does that include Castlevania 64?
No.
I do have it.
Both of them?
You have that?
And yeah,
Wait, there was
I have
two?
both of them. Yeah.
Wait,
Well, there's Legacy of Darkness, which it's complicated. We can't talk. Let's not talk about that here. But yeah, I mean, I have. Anyways, I'm gonna play it tomorrow night on the feed. Look for it then.
Cool.
Cool.
And the other game you've been playing is...
Yeah.
We might want to take a break real quick.
Wait, what? Are we coming up in an hour?
Yeah, it's been an hour.
Hot damn. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have 2 more quick games to talk about, and then we got some news and some Patreon questions, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back to 4Player Podcast. We have a few more games to talk about tonight. Brad,
Yeah.
you haven't been able to talk about Pillars of Eternity 2 yet,
No.
but I see it seems
It's
like
the
you're
third week since I've had it, and now I finally have played enough to talk about it on the podcast.
How much? Okay,
Which is still not much.
how much is not much for this game? I'm just curious. It seems like a big game. Huh?
I've probably played like 5 hours.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, this is a big game. This is a big, long game, and I don't know if I'll ever get done with this.
Oh, it's a triple
Not-
hour.
it's not,
Or
it's
any-
not a fun-sized game.
No. I don't know if I'll ever get done with this or any game I've started this year. I finished Monster Hunter, Into the Breach, and I finally got through A Way Out, and that's all I've played this year.
All you finished?
Yeah, all I finished. I've
Holy
started
shit.
a bunch of shit, but that's all. That's it.
Oh man. Well,
Yeah.
Well, how's Pillars of Eternity 2?
Pillars of Eternity 2. Look at this. What does this look like? Kind of looks like Sid Meier's
Civ?
Pirates, right?
Boats.
Yeah.
I see boats sailing the open oceans.
Yeah, man.
That
You
was
sail
cool.
the open ocean.
Thanks, Chris Davis.
Yeah.
Cut our heads off.
We're right in.
Oh my god!
We're right
oh my
into
god!
ship combat.
Why did I not notice
This
that?
isn't where I told you to start.
What? That was so funny.
Fuck. Well, I kind of want to see you show you me exploring the world now because one of the big
You
new
said
things.
you said 2 minutes and was fine.
No, I said the start, but that's okay. Hey, so one of the big new things about this game is it's got a big kind of open world now that you can sort of freely explore, courtesy of your pirate ship, because this is kind of a pirate-themed fantasy game. It is a direct sequel to the last game, but you're in the Deadfire Archipelago, so it's an excuse to have pirates now.
Man, why?
Sure.
Why do I not remember Pillars of Eternity at all?
That's fine. It is the
No one else
Obsidian Kickstarter success of what is mostly just a Infinity Engine style throwback. Baldur's Gate.
It really
and the
kind of
like.
saved the
Icewind
company in the
Dale.
first.
I feel like I keep getting it confused with like a Dark Souls clone.
No, this is a CRPG. Think like the much loved
You said Baldur's Gate.
Divinity Original
Divinity.
Sin. But like Baldur's Gate, like that style of game from the 90s, right? In the late early 2000s. Infinity Engine games, they call them.
Yep.
Isometric CRPG. But so the last Pillars of Eternity, exploring that world was very much like the first Baldur's Gate, where you have this map where you just sort of clicked on the world map was just a series of locations that you clicked on, and once you clicked on them, you kind of loaded a square of space that you could explore, and within that big large map you could do different things, but that's how the world was broken up into a bunch of different little maps.
Okay.
But this, you're freely exploring a big open world courtesy of your pirate ship, and you get into pirate combat.
Everything is
and,
better with
and that's
pirate
what you're
ships.
seeing here. It's not like fucking
Doesn't really look like.
Well,
Pirate
right
it's
now-
not Black
Combat.
Flag or anything, but it's you still have all the it's still quite deep, even though it's done through this kind of I don't even know what you call it, but it's one of the things that Pillars of Eternity did really well, where you go into these like kind of storybook scenes where you it's kind of like when you do your skill checks and
Is there any way we can jump forward a little bit where you're not in a menu?
This isn't
the menu, Nick.
I'm trying to explain.
This is combat.
Wait, this is combat?
No. This is ship combat. Let me explain.
Sorry.
So what you're seeing here is ship combat, but they sort of use the storybook, like the storybook style, like cutscene things as the visuals, as the presentation for it. And in the first Pillars of Eternity, and in this one especially, you do a lot of like what you would call your D&D skill checks, right? Where like, oh, I want to do a fucking athletics check to see if I can make this jump, right? They do that in these like storybook sequences where you're kind of reading the story, but you're still clicking on your characters of who's going to try to make that jump, and you could see their skill checks and stuff, and it's like, and there's like sound effects and stuff. Like it's a very
there's sound effects in this game.
I'm saying these storybook style cutaways, like despite how they might look on the surface, like it adds a lot to the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're very well done.
Sure.
And like the artwork is cool and the sound effects are cool. But that's what they chose to kind of do the ship combat in. And there is a lot of like systems and mechanics going on here if you kind of look close, and whether you're kind of the speed at which you're going, how close you're getting, what side you're facing, if you're gonna, I forget what they call it, but kind of U-turning your ship and targeting their sails or their crew members, swapping out your crew. It's surprisingly in depth for what looks like to you a menu, Nick.
I'm sorry.
You can't like when you mention this style of ship combat and sound effects and stuff. I can't not but think of The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker. When you're on the island and there's the ship mini game that you play to get like a heart piece, and the guy
all.
Let me explain it. And there's like a ship, and it's almost like Battleship style.
Yeah,
it's exactly like Battleship,
Yeah.
and every time you shoot your cannon in the mini game, the guy who's running the game goes kersploosh like every time.
That was very much like Battlefield, I think. I mean, Battleship.
Battleship,
right?
yeah. But for some reason, you just showing me like a ship, and it showed a picture of a cannon, and you're like, and there's cool sound effects, and I just hear in my head, kersploosh or kaboom, whatever he says.
This is sort of like you ever played Skies of Arcadia?
Oh no, I didn't actually.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well,
I'm an uncultured
it's turn-based
swine.
ship combat. What I did at the end of this ship combat is I just kept advancing on the ship, and eventually rammed them just so I can board, which is a really bad idea for me in this current situation because I'm really low level and I just get slaughtered here. But I kind of wanted to get out of that to show you like what Pillars combat actually looks like
Baldur's Gate.
Like Baldur's Gate. Now it has that real time with pause, but they've kind of refined it. They finally added in some AI, but I haven't set any of that shit up, so you're just gonna see me doing a lot of pausing. And in fact, when I recorded this footage, I hadn't really played in a week, so I just wasn't really fucking ready, anyways. So I just get slaughtered here, and I'm really outnumbered, anyways. But it's going to look like I'm paused a lot, but that's kind of how you play this style of Baldur's Gate game. One of the reasons I like Dragon Age so much is because they finally, and even like combat and like KOTOR and stuff, is because they finally got away from the constant pausing because they had that really good tactics menu.
Sure.
They kind of implemented that stuff like with a late patch, like a later patch in the first Pillars, and I think it's deeper even here, but I just haven't messed around with it yet. So I imagine once I kind of fuck with that, it'll become pretty satisfying. But it's still probably the best implementation of this real time with pause combat. One of the other things that's been really awkward for me too is like for the first time in any like party based Western RPG, I'm playing a rogue. Like my main character, I should say, is a rogue. Like not just a rogue, but a close range. Like go invisible, backstab, dual-handing rogue. I never ever. Not only do I never
the exact
play as that
opposite of how I
character.
played as a rogue when we were playing D&D.
Not only do I never play as that type of rogue, I usually don't even let them in my party. And if I'm forced to use a rogue, they're always ranged. Because to me, I would never put a squishy in the front lines. Like it's just, I'm so philosophically opposed to that I just never play as a rogue, so I'm kind of trying to get out of my comfort zone. And it's nice because I use my smoke bomb and I do my backstab, and I'm spec'd out in a way to where like I do a ton of damage with that initial backstab, but then I'm just sort of like holding my dick in my hands, and they just fucking beat my ass into the ground. I just don't understand how you play a fucking rogue properly. Mostly just because I've never really done it.
This is colorful.
It's probably just early game stuff where after I fail this combat encounter. Yeah, here we go. I load the game just because I'm like, okay, now I'm just going to show you what kind of exploring looks like. And you can go to these different islands and stuff, and there's stuff on the islands, and you're still technically on the world map once you get onto an island, but there's stuff on various islands that you click and interact with, and you'll go into kind of your traditional Infinity Engine like map where you're clicking around and getting into fights and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
But the way they kind of like finally kind of opened it all up, it's a really cool, satisfying thing that I feel like the Infinity Engine games have never really done like this. So this is me still on the world map, but I'm going to click on a location and it's going to load into what you typically see from this style of game. But I think it's a really cool way to do it, and it makes me want to explore the world. This encounter is like fuck too. Like I think a couple of my guys get knocked out here. But yeah, this is just more Pillars combat. But you know, up to this point, the writing, the story, the characters seem good. The stuff that Obsidian's good at, they're still good at. I'm always consistently surprised by like how good the writing is in these games.
Isn't this comparable to like how classic Fallout was formatted, like in terms of like
sort of, but Fallout was purely turn-based.
Not necessarily mechanically speaking.
I mean, presentation. Yeah, well, it's isometric. Isometric. Yeah, that's yeah.
But Fallout was completely turn-based.
I would kind of like to see like Obsidian go back and make a new modern Fallout game.
That would be cool.
That'd be interesting.
That would definitely be cool. In fact, you know, especially because they've worked with Bethesda in the past to make a side Fallout game with New Vegas.
Yeah.
You think that they would have some sort of relationship with them. And New Vegas did really well. So that they could do something like that, a smaller scale Fallout project. But that would be really cool.
Maybe we'll see it at E3.
But if you want like that classic isometric experience, maybe try Wasteland 2.
I've heard about it, but yeah, that seems like
which that's what Wasteland is really. It's.
But I heard that was like super like I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like super complex in terms of its like mechanically speaking.
No. I mean,
it had some complexity to it.
I mean, if you
not that I'm against complex games, but like
it is.
This is already kind of a style of game that I'm not really.
I play Wasteland 2.
Familiar with.
If you can handle like modern XCOM, you can handle Wasteland 2. I mean, in combat.
Yeah.
You know,
but does it evoke the same kind of like atmosphere and stuff as like Fallout?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a more serious Fallout.
Wasteland 3's in development, and it looks like they're kind of like putting a little more money into it, and with the production values and stuff.
Who developed Wasteland 2?
That might be. I was about to say Indie Creates.
It was an indie team. I forget what.
No. It's the fucking.
Someone in chat surely knows.
Starts with or something. It's the people who did Spears of War. Yeah, the Brian Fargo studio. They used to work on fucking Fallout.
In Exile. Thank you.
Yeah, they did Spears of War.
Thank you, Jay Hit.
Do you remember
chat.
Spears of War?
I don't actually.
The fucking Spears of War. The Hunted the Demon's Forge.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? Spears of War. That was the affectionate nickname for it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The Fantasy Gears of War.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
That was back in the day. But they've started doing these. They also did the spiritual successor to Torment. Planescape Torment. They did Torment Tides of Numenera, which was somewhat well received as well. So I'm kind of looking forward to Wasteland 3. But this is good. I mean, I don't like Pillars as much as I like Divinity, but Divinity is like a much more like it's like a bigger budget project than this. Like it might be hard to tell at a glance, but like I think Divinity is a really beautiful like game, even in terms of like the tech.
Yeah,
this is like super kind of old school. But this is unlike the first game. This one is fully voice acted. So
nice, that's cool.
So it's got. And the story department's got really good presentation. And I know y'all were shit talking the storybook cutaways. I don't know what
I wasn't trying to shit. I just literally didn't realize it was combat.
Shit talking.
I love that stuff in this game.
No, I think it's a really cool idea. I just I literally, when I was looking at it, I didn't realize I was looking at combat. I thought you were dicking around in a menu because you do that sometimes.
That was the ship combat. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
It's like Skies of Arcadia without the graphics.
Never played that. All right, let's move on because we have one more game. Nolan, this is actually a game that you played and talked about when it was in
alpha.
It was in alpha. Yeah.
Wait, someone said no, Brad.
Yeah, stop talking.
But what did they
No,
say?
Brad.
No, did I get something
No,
wrong?
Brad, stop talking.
Did I get something wrong?
Everything. Yeah, so I played a game that technically still not out officially. It comes out next week, but I got an early copy of it. Technically, I think my alpha still worked. I think that was just it ended up actually being the full version of the game. It just was an update. But anyway, yeah. So Moonlighter.
Yeah.
For those who know, this is a game I talked about a while back. It kind of found its way through Square Enix's. What is their term? They have
Bowels?
they're collective.
It's
Called
collective.
the collective. So it's essentially
They're responsible for that bad Fear Effect game.
Exactly. Them trying to get indie games more in the spotlight, them kind of taking their... I mean, when Sony started putting a big push for it a few years ago, other companies were like, oh, people do like indie games.
Yeah.
Maybe
Hell
let's
yeah,
start
we
looking
do.
at some.
It's also their way of having people crowdfund projects
Yes.
that are based on their own properties that they own.
Correct. So anyway, for those that aren't familiar with Moonlighter, you play a shopkeeper named Will, who during the day or kind of whenever you run a shop. And so at any given day, you can choose that either today I'm going to open up my shop and sell my wares, or maybe I don't have any wares to sell, so I'm going to head into a dungeon and fight enemies and
So you're basically collecting inventory to sell.
It's similar to Recettear, but good. Yes, and so the gameplay in the dungeons is similar to old school Legend of Zelda or Binding of Isaac. It's the top down, moving from square room to square room, interacting with different enemy types, having
roguelike.
Yes, roguelike. To collect the loot that they drop to then take back and sell in your shop. But there are some interesting mechanics to this. I don't think there's a lot that they added. So don't get me wrong. When I played this one in alpha, I enjoyed it. I'm like, this is good. But then, as I started playing it now with the final version of the game, holy shit, they added a lot of really good stuff that wasn't in that version. Mimics are a thing now. So some of the treasure
my
chests,
favorite.
Yeah, you come across are mimics. They added, I don't think there's any new weapon types. I think all the weapon types are still there. But they just added a couple different ways that you interact with the world. They still have the original thing that is that you have this pendant on you. And at any point in time, you can activate the pendant and be teleported out of the dungeon. You have to pay for it. The deeper you go into the dungeon, the more it costs to use. But still, you can't exactly wander back out to the exit. That's not really a thing. So you have to use it at some point. And it's cool just because you can use it anytime. If you're in combat, you can still use it. It takes maybe 3 seconds to activate.
You just gotta survive long enough.
So yeah, if you get put into a scenario where it's oh shit, I'm probably gonna die. If I die, I lose everything on me. I need that because I need money. So
I can't remember. Does it give you the chance to get back to your No?
It's roguelike in the sense that when you die, you respawn back at home,
sense, yeah.
you lose everything. So you have to be wise, and when you want to do that, you can see it's kind of flashing now because it's hey, you got a bunch of stuff. Maybe you want to leave.
Yeah.
But I don't. And so
you like to live life dangerously.
Exactly. So when I played it in alpha, there wasn't really much of a story, and the town was kind of just there. So what's going on now is the town actually isn't really developed yet. So there's actually a story of you helping bring up this town by paying merchants to come to your town. So I essentially enticed a blacksmith to come to my town. I gave him 500 gold if you set up a shop in my town. He's okay, sure, yeah. And so he sets up a shop, but now I can interact with him. I can use the money I've earned.
But where do you meet him?
There's a board in your town.
Oh, okay.
A task board or whatever that you can use to increase your town. So like I said, you can get a shopkeeper to come, or a blacksmith, she's almost like a witch who can enchant items. So you can use certain like mystical things you find in the dungeons.
Relics or
relics.
Whatnot.
So here,
what is that on the right? I don't know what I'm looking at. Outside the menu.
Outside the menu. What do you mean? The RT on the right, or what do you mean?
Outside the menu.
Oh, that's a separate area. That's like a portal to like a kind of like this grassy. It's almost like a preview of the next dungeon, I think. But so right now I'm having to decide. Okay, so I have all these items. My inventory's full. So you can actually sell things from while you're in a dungeon. You don't get them for the same price you would get them for if you were at your shop. You don't get to set the price. It just sells it for kind of a random price around what the item's valued at. But that's often good to just, if you have a couple of shitty items you don't really need and you just found some good items, just get rid of those and put the good items in your inventory. But some of them are like enchanted. Some of the items, if you'll notice, they have little icons on them. So some of them can only be in a certain spot in your inventory. Some of them are, if they're in a spot, the item to the top left of your inventory or the top left of the item will be deleted when you leave the dungeon. And so you have to be very specific about where you place them in your pack as well.
It's like a little meta game.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, it's about your pack load is based on quantity, not weight as well.
Correct. There's no weight involved.
Okay, good.
Thank God.
Items can stack up to X amount depending on the item. Some can stack larger than others. And then it's just you have 20 slots in your backpack.
Okay.
And so
I wonder if you can get a bigger backpack.
I think you can. I think you maybe not. So I know that in town, not only can you expand the town, but you can expand your shop. So your shop starts very simple. You have one pedestal in your shop. You can put one item in 4 different slots on that pedestal, and you set the price. What the price you set it at is whatever you want. You can set it for 10 gold, and someone will come in and be like, 10 gold, this is a steal. And they're like, yeah, they get excited, and they pay you when they leave. And you're like, well, I probably could have gotten more money for that.
I could have gotten like $500.
So yeah, so I usually end up setting the prices a little bit higher than I think they are, and someone will walk up to it and they'll like give like a frowny face and they'll just walk out. And I'm like, So you just slowly start to adjust the price. But there's actually a concept of like flooding the market with too many items at like certain prices. So if you sell one item too much, there's too much of it in the market. People have bought it too much. Everyone has it. They don't care. So you have to lower the price to entice people to buy it again. What's up, Brad?
How like is that aspect of the game pretty satisfying?
It is
because I got to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to be mean. I feel like there is a like, you know how there was a lot of like indie Metroidvanias, for a while, and there still is. Now I feel like there's so many of games that look like this, these kind of isometric games with really good pixel art, and I'm sure the music is dope.
The music is good.
So I'm looking for something that kind of makes this one stand out, because there's even one out right now that people are playing, like the Wizard of Legend or whatever,
something like that.
Yeah, like everyone's talking about that one, and
I look at it. Just told me about it,
and it looks kind of like not much different than this. So
well, I mean, the whole shtick of this is the fact that you are a shopkeeper, and so here I just decided, instead of going out for the day and adventuring, I'm going to open up my shop to try and make some money. And so at any point in time, you can move items around on the shelf. You can set the price. You can change it if you see someone interacting with something and they're like, oh, that price is too high or that price is too low, whatever. And so this is actually the first part. This little guy who's in the middle of the screen, he's actually a thief. And this is the first time I've encountered a thief, and he just stole something.
That son of a bitch.
And so I have to fucking tackle him to get the item back, so he doesn't steal.
You need a loss prevention guy.
Right?
I bet you can get
can you ever hire people to like?
I don't know. I'm not far enough.
I'm wondering if it eventually gets to the point where you're like hiring staff and like they have their own like quirks and personalities and whatnot.
I don't know if you will. Maybe. So here's the thing. So my shop is still small, but when you're in the town center, you can see the upgrades for your shop, and it can get larger and larger.
There's like 5 upgrades.
Yeah,
for it.
and I think once it's like the larger you get, you might not be able to see everything at once.
Gotcha.
And so the thing is, you have to be manning the counter. So if someone walks up and they want to buy something, if you wait too long, they'll get mad and leave, and they won't buy it.
Makes sense.
And so then you also have to be restocking your shelves.
Okay, so this seems cool.
But also, if you sell it quickly enough, don't they give you like a tip?
Yeah. So the first upgrade I got to my shop was I added new shelves and I bought a new cash register, which comes. You have a tip jar now. So if I serve them like quick enough or whatever, they will give me up to like 10 or 20% tip.
See, that sounds really cool. I'm wondering like, once you've played like a lot of hours this game, I'm wondering how deep that rabbit hole goes.
So I don't know. A couple more things about the shop, just off the top of my head before I forget. You can buy other upgrades for your shop. You can buy a bargain bin, and anything you put in there is like 75% off, which might entice people to buy it because they'll think it's on sale and they'll look whatever. You can expand the shop. You can buy a bed for the back room of your shop that will give you extra health the next day when you sleep in it. And there was one more thing, I forget what it was. But every incremental upgrade costs more and more gold, to the point where some of them are costing like 500,000 gold.
Wow. SMG Sterling says this game is just the struggle of working in an understaffed retail environment.
Yeah.
Is this as like compelling as something like Stardew Valley, or is it not?
So there's less of a story than it's not as like quirky. There's less of like a story element of trying to get people to fall in love with you and make friends and stuff. This is more about just like the gameplay of exploring a dungeon, wanting to make money because you need money to buy new equipment so you can explore more efficiently. So the blacksmith, like I said, you can give him a couple of different like items that you find in the dungeon, and he'll craft a new sword for you. But you'll need money for that as well. Like I just recently completed one set of iron armor, which gave me a lot more health and some more defense. Excuse me. But you know, each one of those costs 4,000 gold each piece, and I have to have certain items that I've collected. So not only do I need to sell items, I need to maybe keep some aside. Like, hey, don't sell this. I need this for crafting. I'll need to put these aside because I want to make sure I have enough so I can craft a new item. And like I said, there's the witch who can enchant items to give them special effects. There's a guy you can bring to the town who literally just sells things. He just sells items at a way higher price than you. But hey, if like maybe I need this one item to craft this thing and I don't want to feel like going into the dungeon, I might give him a little bit more cash to get it done. And I think there's 2 more shopkeepers that I don't even know about yet that you can bring to the town. And so the thing is, there are 5 dungeons in this game, and I've only been to the first one. And each one has like a unique boss at the end. And
is this the same dungeon you explored when you were playing it in Alpha?
Correct. That was the only one that was available in Alpha. Now all 5 are there, but I just haven't gone deep enough to get to the other ones yet. So Chris, actually in this footage, I unlock a new like artifact, I guess. And so it gives me the ability to place a portal on the current location in the dungeon I'm at, so I can return to that spot. Every time so far, I've had to start from the very beginning and work my way down. And then, you know, I lose some health and my backpack gets full of like shitty items. And then I get a little bit farther and I'm like, well, now I've wasted so much time, I might as well just leave. But now that I can actually start on level 3 or level 4 of the dungeon, I can go in and actually start getting those better items sooner. And exploring more. I don't know. I've been enjoying it. There is a bit of a story. I think it's like your grandfather like owned the shop or something like that. And every once in a while you'll find some kind of lore in the dungeons. You'll come across scrolls. You found a dead guy who was kind of like telling his tale and stuff like that.
Seems cool.
So yeah, once again, here's another thief trying to steal shit.
I think I saw someone in chat say this is coming to Switch.
It is coming to Switch.
Fuck yeah!
I'm so
What? Brad, you were so hyped on the Switch.
No, what? No, it's every indie game is only worth it now because
if it's on the Switch.
If it's on the Switch.
Well, no, but like, I mean, sure, I can see why you scoff at that, but like someone like me who just
but like 40 indie games worth playing already came out on the Switch this year. Just pick one. Half of them look like this. I'm just being mean now, but there's a lot of good pixel art out there.
It's past Brad's bedtime.
This isn't exactly pixel art. It is definitely.
It is way past my bedtime.
But anyway, I have been enjoying this game. Like I said, they've added a bunch of new features. There's probably some stuff I haven't even encountered yet. Now, at the end of the day, at the end of your shop, it will give you like a run through of everything you've earned. This is what you sold. This is stuff that you sold for a good amount. This is something you sold that maybe you kind of sold at a bad price. The things will go up and down. It'll show you where they are in the market value currently. Like, oh,
that's cool.
this is
kind of info is like
there's a lot more. They added a lot more, and like I said, I enjoyed it when I played it in alpha, and I'm even enjoying it more now.
When's this coming out?
Next Tuesday is the official release date.
Good.
Sweet.
It's not like one of those Dead Cells games.
No.
You know,
that's one.
It looks like the sickest shit, and it's never coming out.
No. This one's coming out.
I thought they got a release date like last week or something.
I think they did. Yeah.
Anyways, we need.
You know what? I'm fucking glad you didn't wait to play Hollow Knight on the Switch.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I'm scared to open Hollow Knight on my PC. I'm scared that save file's gone.
Do it.
You haven't even booted it up. Why would the save? It's Steam Cloud. Whatever. Whew.
Anyways,
That's
we
all
need to
we
move
wanted to
on.
say.
We got only a couple news topics today that we're
Chasm?
gonna. Who
Right?
knows?
Jesus.
Do you see?
Where's
Apparently,
below?
do you see? Apparently, below's
Where's
got
Anne?
Yeah, where the fuck is Anne? You know what? I showed
Egg?
people the trailer.
Yeah.
I showed people the trailer for that on one of my streams, like in the past couple of weeks, and people were just like, eh. Because there's so much
Yeah,
of this
that-
shit now.
Yeah.
I think Games by Mo missed his
But,
chance a
when
bit.
we first
By, like,
saw
3
that,
years.
Yeah.
it was almost like a revelation.
That was the shit. Not a single person wasn't excited for Anne when we saw it. It looked amazing.
Guys,
Same with Chasm.
I'm gonna
But
be
now
honest, guys.
It was
Nick,
like
Chasm doesn't look that impressive.
Nick,
it was.
I'm gonna
it
be
was
honest.
Anne, it was Chasm, and it was Hyper Light
You and I
Drifter.
lived together when Anne and Chasm
Guys,
were like
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what Anne is. I can't remember it.
exactly. Nick,
A-N-N-E.
exactly.
I got nothing.
It was a little robot dude trying to save his robot.
I only know
girlfriend.
below because I've seen it at like 10 different PAXs.
There's another one. There's another like pixely art Metroidvania.
Where's Death's Gambit?
that I'm really excited about.
Death's Gambit was on my radar. Dead Cells is on my radar. Although Dead Cells apparently is coming out of early access.
There
in
was
August.
a really dope Metroidvania indie game that I played. That was a Kickstarter that I played the same E3 where I tried Salt and Sanctuary for the first time, and even that was like a couple of years before Salt and Sanctuary came out. It felt like so.
That's a game I wish I had
What's
finished.
it called?
Fuck. We need to move on to the news,
Yeah,
guys.
we
We have
got
a few news
news.
topics. I'm gonna there's only 3 of them tonight, so
I'm just gonna go and
Chris Davis, just pick
order
one
it.
and we will roll with it.
Let's start with this one.
I wish Crispy was here to talk about this. No Man's Sky is getting a multiplayer mode in July.
I put this on there because I thought Crispy was going to be here.
Oh.
It's getting like real ass multiplayer. I think.
Yeah, like up to 4 players, I think.
Yeah,
Should I finally play this game?
Dude, I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
it's
I mean,
probably
I'm
worth playing.
I'm
now.
really thinking about playing it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
I mean, current No Man's Sky. If you could dig something like Subnautica, current
Which-
No Man's Sky is
Well,
probably
yeah,
worth
and
playing
that
now.
was one of the things that when I first saw No Man's Sky, I was like, oh, this is like Subnautica in space, and I like
you
that.
know
yeah,
what?
but like back then, that was like a fucking insult to No Man's Sky. This
Yeah.
grand. Fucking
and you know what?
I know.
Subnautica was pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
But this is a free update, and it's July.
Yeah, that's so. I might try and
so
find
much-
some time to dig back into No Man's Sky this year. I've already played.
And I guess the other thing
Subnautica,
about it
so-
is that it's coming to the Expo.
Who cares?
Is it
Oh,
only?
boy.
Is it only on Xbox?
Who cares?
No, it was on PS4 and PC, but it wasn't previously on Xbox. So now it's coming to the Xbox.
Yeah, that was the
No
thing.
Man's
that,
Sky
that
wasn't
was
on
Sony.
Xbox.
Sony. Didn't,
Really?
Didn't Sony publish it or not publish? But
I don't
Man.
think they published it, but
It's
but it
coming
was
to Xbox.
the
with
console they
multiplayer.
launched on was PS4.
Well, it's coming. Yeah,
But I remember. Sony published it. It says.
I completely forgot
I remember
about that.
that was one of the big reasons that it was kind of shitty that it came out because Sony was pushing them to get it out sooner.
That's right. I forgot about that completely. I thought that was multi-platform this entire time. So yeah. Anyways, multiplayer mode coming in July. Maybe we'll get Crispy's opinions on that next week when he's back. Next topic we have is this is a weird one. Resident Evil 7 is getting released on the Nintendo Switch.
Finally, people
Playable?
can play Resident Evil 7 because it's on the Switch.
Playable from the cloud.
Yeah,
The cloud.
yeah, and there's no
cloud.
wired switch,
Okay.
so you only have wireless internet.
Yeah.
and people have played it at like various sites have played it, and from it sounds like it's not so good.
I can't imagine.
Like,
First of all,
just
Like it's
stream-
launching in Japan.
yeah,
No, only in
it's
Japan.
it's only coming in Japan. It's not coming to the States. There's no plans
But
for it now
who
to come to
knows?
the States.
Just-
Who knows?
Internet
I mean-
in Japan is much like less fucked than it is here. It's
Yeah.
like really good over there. So I
Um,
don't know.
First of all, I think this is one. I think it's weird because like the press, it's setting a precedent for like releasing like large AAA games
It's a
on other
little scary to
platforms on the
think
on
about.
on the Switch, but as like a cloud based game, which I think is kind of a strange, maybe.
It's like
it's a-
PlayStation Now. It's
Yeah, it's like PlayStation
or
now.
On Live. Is that what it's called? Remember On Live?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You're just playing the game over the internet. You can have games that look way better than what the Switch can handle,
Yeah.
provided your
'Cause it's
connection's
streaming.
really good.
Yeah.
Of course, it's
At
can be
relatively
really
low
laggy.
latency.
Yeah. I think
Relatively.
also for me, and you might roll your eyes to the back of your head, but I feel like this is like we keep getting farther and farther away as we get more versions of Resident Evil 7. We get farther and farther away from like the best way to play this game. Like, do not play Resident Evil 7 on the Switch. Like, that's
What if you want
that's like
to?
your only option.
Nick, you might be getting into something that maybe you say that, but you choose to play a lot of stuff on console versus PC. Where people could argue similar things.
No, but I'm specifically referring to the fact that like this game is so. I think the success and of this game is so determined. It's so. Oh my god, what's the word?
The success.
It's hindered. It's oh my god, I cannot fucking form this sentence. The success of this game is so dependent on atmosphere and an immersion and like playing it on like a small handheld screen.
Well, you can play it on the TV, Nick.
I mean,
I think most people are probably going to play it on the TV, not on the Switch.
I guess you're right.
It
Not
might
on the
not
mobile.
even work that real well on
I didn't know you were
handheld.
talking about from the handheld angle.
I mean, I just feel like there's gonna be a lot of people like on the subway trying to play fucking.
Hey, remember
Well, I guess you
Dementium
can.
the
You
War?
don't-
Nick?
yeah.
Remember Dementium?
Don't have
Turn
really
out
good-
the lights. That shit was intense.
Don't have really good Wi-Fi on the subway, though.
No, Brad, no.
You never played Dementium?
I did not.
I don't
play
think people
Dementium.
are going to be setting up a hotspot on their phone and trying to stream Resident Evil 7 on the
That'd be
Switch
pretty
on the
dope.
go.
You played Silent Hill Origins on your PSP.
Yeah, and I remember enjoying that game a lot more years later when I played it
On the PS2.
on my
It got a
PC.
port.
So I guess the question here is, this cloud version, it's the first game to have this. Is it going to be the first one, or going to be
It's
the
not the first
last?
game to have it.
They
They
mean-
released PSO2 on the Switch in Japan with the same. I don't know if it's out yet, but it's the same cloud thing.
I mean, I can guarantee you, if they hadn't announced a Monster Hunter exclusive for Switch, we would get Monster Hunter World on the Switch that way.
But you can't play that.
Dude, I bet
It's
Monster
a
Hunter.
shit way to play anything unless it's like turn based.
I understand that, but that's the world we live in now.
Yeah, it's weird. It's strange.
What
It's
else?
bizarre.
Fucking
I
weird.
just think the gist of it really. It's a really weird thing, and it's setting a weird precedent, and we'll see what
Well,
happens.
I think it might have some. I think they might
I mean,
have more plans
we'll-
with this cloud streaming.
We'll
thing
see what
on the
happens with the
Switch.
success of it in Japan, then we'll see if they end up deciding to bring it to the States. I mean, I can see it happening. The Switch is its
What if
install base is
Nintendo does,
growing
like,
and growing.
a
and growing.
PlayStation Now sort of thing with the Switch. It's
I wouldn't
like,
be surprised
you want to
if
play
they do.
GameCube games, man? Just fucking stream them. Ugh.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
I,
hope
want to live
not,
in that
though.
world.
I hope not.
That is
It's
weird.
it's probably a lot easier for them to set up some servers with emulators that are capable of running those games than it is to have them
Yeah.
run on the Switch itself.
This is somewhat of an aside, but I'm related to the Nintendo Switch and E3 coming up. I really, if they keep it up with these fucking ports, I really hope that it's not these lazy like Wii U ports,
Mm-hmm.
like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze again. Like, where is like Mario Galaxy 1 and 2? That has been stuck in the Wii
Yeah.
in SD. Metroid Prime Trilogy stuck in the Wii in SD. Those are the kinds of ports that people would
Stuck
probably
in
get
the Wii in
excited
SD.
to buy on the Switch, right?
I do think.
Yes, they would sell
Skyward
very well.
Sword, Wonderful 101.
I do think
Yeah.
something like Metroid Prime
Wonderful
Trilogy
was
is
a
going to come
Wii
to the
game.
Switch, but not until after Metroid Prime 4 is already out.
Or they might launch them in similar time frames.
I feel
if they
like that's
want
the
to.
shit you do where
Right
at E3, this shit's out now or next week.
That's what you in hype
With
for
the trilogy.
In hype for Prime 4,
Yeah.
you release the trilogy on
Yeah.
the Switch.
Early.
It's already on your
If they-
Switch.
If they do it early enough, like ahead of the release of Metroid Prime 4, but
Well, four,
the closer
four's not coming out this
Yeah,
year.
the
4 is
closer
not
you
soon.
get to Metroid Prime 4, the less likely I think it is that you will see the trilogy come out on Switch before it's released.
Sure, of course, obviously. I mean, that's just.
You don't want to confuse people.
But I don't think Metroid Prime 4 is this year, so it could be something that they could have ready for the fall.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
could do a
could be.
Nintendo Direct come fall and be like, "Hey, coming out."
we'll see.
Yeah.
I bet
Yeah.
we'll see one or two.
Even
ports.
digitally, just fucking do it, man.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, and one more news topic. What was it? It was. Oh yeah, Brad. This is
I
for
saw
you.
that one,
PS3 era.
Not for me. I mean,
Well,
I
yeah,
have,
yeah. You play more Yakuza games than anyone here.
This is for Jaeger.
no. What this is for the people
Can we say it?
who started with 0.
Can we say it?
No, it's not. I mean, he's gonna get them, but listen.
No. No, I'm saying I haven't said the news topic yet.
Oh.
PS3 era Yakuza games, i.e., 3, 4, and 5, are getting PS4 remasters.
Yeah.
What happened to the overlay?
Oh, sorry. Wrong thing.
PS4 remasters
Yep.
Go, Brad.
I feel like this is good news for the people who started with Yakuza 0. And
What about Yakuza 1 and 2?
Well, those got remakes.
Yeah, the Kiwami.
Kiwami 1 already came out.
I thought Kiwami was the one where it was like feudal
Kiwami's
Japan.
a remake of 1.
No.
Kiwami 2 is a remake of 2.
Oh, which one's the feudal Japan one?
Well, there's Ishin, and then which those never came out in the West.
Yeah.
You know what makes me less and less likely to play this series is that like even the thought of like dipping my toes into Yakuza is so overwhelming because there's literally at this point once these 3 are out.
But Nick, that's the whole point of this news topic. Now, if you are okay playing the remake of 1 and 2 instead of the originals, you now have the way to play Yakuza
The entire
0, 1, 2,
series.
3, 4, 5, and 6 all on the PS4.
This the thing before, Nick, is you
That's what
haven't-
I'm saying.
You haven't been able to play these games easily. It's hard to get
No,
a
I
hold
get
of
it.
them, and now the fact is you'll easily be able to
No,
play
I get
all
it.
of
That's a
them.
great thing. That is a great thing that anyone who wants to get into the series now has the ability to play the entire series on the PS4. I think that's fantastic. But as someone who like wants to get in the series, but like each one of these games represents like a 20 to 40 hour experience, probably.
No, much longer than that. Well,
Yeah, there we go. Not playing them.
the earlier, but like actually, like Kiwami 1 is way shorter than kind of where the Yakuza games ended up.
Yeah.
They've gotten longer as they've with each subsequent
Yeah.
entry, and 0 is long, but it is still the one place to start.
I will-
So
yeah,
that-
and if
like,
I-
there should
Nick,
be no confusion.
I will say that
You play
while
0.
0, I did spend 50 or 60 hours on it. I fucking loved it.
No, I know. I love it. Like I would love to get into the series and I
0
would
is where
start
to
with
start, and you will know after you play 0 if you want to play more Yakuza.
There we go. That's what I'm saying. But like, I hope that I don't want to play more because I don't want to play 6 more games.
But it's not about
Welcome
that.
to my world.
Like if you want to play more, you'll want to play more. So you don't
I
have
know.
to be like, oh, I don't want to play more. No.
But I will.
Although we are in a weird, stupid situation where it's like we got to play new stuff. We got to.
Do you remember?
We got to do our game of the year videos. I don't have time for this.
Do you remember when it was like, oh my god, are we gonna ever get Yakuza 3?
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Like
It's
at
crazy.
all?
There's videos out there of me like doing weird like campaigns and stuff to like.
Yeah, this is all your fault.
Yeah.
You did
brought
this.
this upon us, Brad.
God damn it!
It's cool.
So much Yakuza. Holy shit!
It was cool that this somewhat kind of happened with Monster Hunter, and I felt like it culminated in Monster Hunter World, where like you had this series that was really popular in Japan, and it wasn't popular over here. It wasn't selling well over here, and it wasn't even reviewing that well over here. Same could be said for Monster Hunter. Same could be said for Yakuza, right? But like. What happened is like over time people are like, no, these are good, these are good, these are good. And with each subsequent entry, the reviews kept going up and up and up, and sales kept going up and up and up until, that one point where all of a sudden the reviews are like fucking 9s and the sales are fucking great, and all of a sudden, boom, it's a success over here, and now they're remastering 3 Yakuza games this year.
That's nuts.
And releasing the remake also of 2 this year. I mean, that's 5 Yakuza games in 2018.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Are all 3 of these remasters coming in 2018?
I'm pretty
I
sure.
hope not.
2 is coming in August.
Well, that's the remake of 2 is coming in August.
Yeah.
I think 3 and 4 are coming this year, and maybe 5 at the beginning of next year, but they're all coming soon. And we just got 6. So it's crazy.
Holy shit. All right.
That
a lot of
fucking
Yakuza.
team, man.
It is time. It is time for Patreon questions. Nolan,
What up, Nick?
are you ready?
Well, it's time for the community. And first of all, I will say I have had no new patrons, unfortunately.
Oh, shit.
But that's all right. We love the ones that we currently have, and we love them so much, we're going to answer a bunch of questions.
But if you did want to support us on Patreon, you could find us at patreon.com/4player.
Yep.
Throw us $1 or $2.
Yeah. Just
$1 is all it takes
$1.
to ask us anything you want. Like these lovely questions that we're about to answer right now.
Like from Mr. Greentoes. Would you rather have nipples where your elbow tips are and they can be milked? Or would you rather have teeth where your eyelids are and they can eat?
Oh!
Can it consume food?
Give me the nipples, man.
Elbow
Jesus.
nipples.
Give me
Elbow
the nipples.
Yeah, just wear long sleeve shirts.
But then they'd chafe.
Oh, chafed nipples.
Yeah.
No, not just chafing
On your elbows.
You'd be lactating all the time.
It said they can be milked.
Oh,
so,
my
yeah.
God.
I mean, if they can be milked, then you're gonna lactate.
I've got
You can
nipples,
milk
Greg.
anything with nipples.
So you need some extra small condoms for
I've
your
got,
elbows?
I've got nipples, Chris. Could you milk me?
But do I have like taste buds in my eyes? Could I like feed each of my eyes and my mouth and like get an amazing taste
So
experience?
would there be literal eye candy?
Oh my god.
Okay, Dad, shut up.
Wait, but you're the dad. Oh my god.
Would you have to floss your eyelids?
No!
No.
Jesus.
Move
Does
on.
that mean your elbow becomes an erogenous zone?
Ooh. What do you mean becomes?
No, wait. Back up.
All right, nipples
up.
it is. All right, Sir Thomas Thipple asks, fuck, marry, kill.
It's always one. There's always one.
Almost always.
Ridley from Metroid, Draco from Dragonheart, or a typical fantasy dragon whom you double team a car with.
You double team.
Wait,
a
but that doesn't
car
make
with?
sense. That last one.
Wait,
The last one is a
Well, I
Is
would.
the car fucking the dragon?
No,
other way around.
You
But,
in
I mean,
partnership
you
with
choose.
this dragon are fucking the car,
no. The dragon's fucking the car while you're fucking the dragon.
or are you marrying the dragon that's fucking the car?
But you can if you want to.
No.
You marry a dragon who wants to
Dragon's
fuck
got his
cars.
cock in the tailpipe. He's sucking your dick.
No, we are not. Okay, how is this coming back like 6 years later? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
All right, I'd kill that one.
I would post some pictures.
I would fuck.
For the love of God, I would kill the dragon that's fucking the car.
Fuck Ridley, and I guess marry Draco, because I'd get to hear Sean Connery all the time.
Ridley's purple.
So
What,
Yeah,
what
so
do you
Yeah,
have?
you marry Draco.
What do you
got
have
it.
against? What do you have against? What? I lost it.
purple dragons.
Yeah. What do you have against purple dragons?
I'd marry Ridley because Ridley's always fighting Samus, which means I get to see Samus, and that's cool.
Don't know if that.
Always
It
trying to
it sounds
kill
like
Samus.
Samus would not like you very much.
Samus would kill Ridley. I'd be like, fucking finally.
I like how
And then I'd become friends with Samus.
I like how JP2 brings up the question you asked at the beginning of the show. I'll try not to be too weird for new viewers.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I meant.
Oh, is it?
This doesn't count.
I meant with like weird, insidey, like bits.
well,
Like-
nobody knows that we're talking about a video that we watched 6 years ago of a
but they
dragon
can figure
fucking
it
a
out.
car.
It's not videos. They're art. It's art.
Oh.
It's art. It's
I'm glad this
Someone
was
post
before
some of
my
the
time.
dragon
It's
fucking
classy.
cars art. Where's the dinosaur?
All right, hurry up and answer so we can move on.
What was the question?
God damn it, Brad.
You marry Draco, you fuck the Ridley, and you kill the dragon fucking the car.
Yeah, there we go.
Because you need your car.
Same answer I always give. Fuck all of them.
No. All right, Metal Button asks, I laugh when it's time for the 4-player minute, and there's 15 to 20 minutes left in the podcast.
Yep.
Which of you dicks is the worst offender for dragging out the segment?
Well, I think people still say me by default.
That'd be Brad, yeah. Yeah, Brad's easily the most
Definitely
long-winded
not
one.
me.
I think it's me because I put the most thought into my 4-player minute.
I don't know.
Although
if
I
that's
think
accurate.
sometimes Crispy does give Brad a run for his money.
I think it's me because I put the most thought.
Sure.
If you put a lot of thought, Brad, it'd be pretty quick.
No. I mean, I even got notes.
All right, next question from Dragon Slayer Wielder. With the death of physical games on the Vita, I started thinking about all the good games that came out on both the PSP and the Vita. Do you guys think that Sony will try again in the portable console market, or would we have only Nintendo doing portable stuff? I'm not a big Nintendo fan, and the Switch, while interesting and powerful, has a library that I pretty much don't care about or I already have on Vita.
I will say this. This is a news topic. There's not really much to it, so we didn't really talk about it. But there have been interviews recently with representatives for Sony talking about how they're not ruling out new portable platforms in the future. But I think the likelihood of us seeing that anytime soon, or even this generation, I think is slim to none. The PS4 is doing so well right now. It's so successful.
Not just that, but Nintendo has 2 handhelds.
Yeah, that's true. I just don't feel like I don't feel like it's like they don't need it at this point. Like
I think they.
Yeah.
I think
they're
they
clearly
have,
going for two different. Like Nintendo and Sony are clearly going for two completely different things, which I
correct,
think is
yeah.
great. And I don't think Sony has much and there's really no point in investing in releasing a new.
If Sony
hardware
was
at this
interested in
point.
investing that much money into a new platform, a mobile or handheld platform, then we would have seen a lot more support of the Vita.
I think I wouldn't.
Not necessarily. I think they recognize
in the
that
past 4 years.
I wouldn't be surprised to see when the PS5 eventually is announced, which is probably there's a lot of talk of it now being around 2021. It's only about 3 years. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see that system somehow not necessarily aping what Nintendo has done with the Switch, but like learning from it and maybe leveraging that in some new way that differentiates it from the Switch in its own way. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if like the PS5 is somehow like a hybrid system, but maybe not the exact same way as Nintendo's hybrid system. But yeah, I don't think we'll see it at all during the PS4's life cycle, if I had to
agree.
guess. And they've already confirmed no hardware announcements at E3 this year for Sony, which is good, which means that their entire conference is going to be software focused, which is what I want.
All right, moving on from Jaeger. Hypothetically, Sony releases a, quote, PS1 classic. What 5 games would you need to be on the system for you to purchase?
7.
Sure.
For me to purchase?
Yeah, for you to want to get
shouldn't it be
it.
games I don't already own?
No,
Not
not
necessarily.
necessarily.
I would put rare games that they have not released on PlayStation Network.
Like?
I mean, I think
Like Valkyrie Profile.
Okay.
Like
I think half their catalog would come from at least that listing of those digital download titles already.
I mean,
that's boring.
I mean, it's boring, yes, but they've already got the licenses negotiated. You don't have to download anything.
But is the question supposed to be like what's realistic or what we want?
What you want.
What 5 games would we want to see? And maybe we don't necessarily have to keep to 5 because this question will go on forever if we try to think of 5 games. But like just in general, like what games do we think would be? I would focus on games that have smaller cult followings. That
I'd like to see
maybe the
Parasite
original
Eve.
maybe the original Tenchu, Parasite Eve would be a good one on there.
I would do Valkyrie Profile.
I think they would need one. I think they would need one. Like
Intelligent Cube.
I was gonna say like they need one like what's the word
Killer App.
yeah like one major like big RP like wasn't
Suicide.
on the SNES Mini wasn't there like a major
Star Fox 2.
no wasn't there
Final
like
Fantasy? What are you trying to say?
wasn't there a big RPG on the SNES Mini that was like
Final.
did it have like Chrono Cross or Trigger on there?
Well,
or
they had
something?
Final Fantasy 6. They had Earthbound.
6 and Earthbound, yeah.
Yeah.
They had Final Fantasy 6 on there.
Yeah.
So like I think they need maybe a Final Fantasy on there.
Well, yeah, they'd put 7 on there.
They'd probably
Yeah.
put 7 on there.
Yeah, right.
If they were smart, they'd put 8, but...
Someone brought up a really good fucking point on another podcast the other day. It's that like they've done so many like Kingdom Hearts collections,
Right?
right? And like up-res. I mean, you roll your eyes, but if you're into Kingdom Hearts, like there's a couple of discs you can go out there that have like everything.
There's only
on them.
there's really
Even, like,
only
the
one.
PSP game is like been HDified. The
Dude,
GBA game's been HDified and remade.
The most recent one on PS4, the Kingdom Hearts 2.5 or whatever, has
Final Mix, yeah.
Final Mix has
My-
1, 2, Birth by Sleep,
Yeah.
all the ones that I think are probably worth.
My question for
playing.
you is, why have they never done that with Final Fantasy? That was the question they asked.
They're
and
going
I
to
thought
release
about
every
that.
Final Fantasy on a disc?
They used to do it on the
No,
PS1, they did the.
I mean, like one epic collection
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It would
that
sell like
you just pop
gangbusters.
into a PS4 and you could play fucking
1 through 9.
1 through 9.
What
We're
I
up to
would say to
15,
that,
Yeah, but I'm talking about like. Oh.
what I would say to that is that they don't need to because they will sell separately better than
First
a
of all,
would.
licensing. It's about who owns the license to each
It's all
game.
Square. I mean, why hasn't Square done this? It feels like kind of a.
I think that's
An obvious
it's a
choice.
complicated thing to do. I mean, I wouldn't.
I don't think you need to remaster
Are you
them
thinking
all,
like
really.
royalties?
Well, I don't know all the legalities of who. I mean, not every game came out on. Some games were on PlayStation. Some games are just Nintendo. Some games are just, PC.
Exclusivity licenses.
Yeah,
and
that's what
things
I'm
like
saying. I don't know what. I know that's getting a little complicated,
Well, I mean,
but
it doesn't
I mean,
have to be the whole fucking thing, but like there should be like a Final Fantasy PS1 collection. Or
Sure,
something.
yeah.
That just has like 7, 8, and 9 on a disc that you can pop in your PS4 together in a nice neat package.
I would
You know?
I would probably
And
buy
Tactics. Yeah, that's
I would
what you
probably
do. You
buy
do
that.
7, 8, 9 in Tactics. That's fucking sick.
I would probably buy
I would
that.
buy that
Yeah.
in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people out there would. I don't know. It is a weird thing that's not out there.
But again, because they're already available digitally, separately, and they can sell them for like $10-$20 a piece and still make a profit.
Sure, but I'm
I
saying,
mean-
like, they treated Kingdom Hearts so fucking well. I mean, why not?
No, they didn't treat it fucking well. They milked the shit out of it.
Yeah, so
They
I
do a
would
lot
kind of
of
like to see them.
nice
I would
stuff.
kind of like to see them milk the shit out of
I
Final
would like them
Fantasy.
to milk my elbow.
They've already
Yes.
been milking the shit out of Final
I'd kind
Fantasy.
of like to see them milk my elbow. Okay.
That's what I just said.
We didn't
Moving
answer
on.
the question, but yeah. Put
We
Metal
kinda
Gear,
did.
Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, whatever, the good stuff.
It's hard to think of good games off the top of your head.
Monster Rancher.
The problem, I was thinking
That's
Monster
what I'm saying.
Rancher.
You can't
The-
get that digital.
The problem is, I only played like 4 games on my PS1. I had like no games.
You probably need to have Metal Gear Solid on there no matter what.
I guess so.
Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy 7, Resident Evil.
The problem
2.
is then the back of
Yeah.
you'd have to literally on the back of the PS1 Classic would have to have Meryl's codec number on there, otherwise
They
people
could
wouldn't
do that.
fucking
Symphony
know.
of the Night and
where to
Final
call.
Well, I
Fantasy
mean, what
Tactics.
did they do with the big collection that they did for?
It's on the box.
It is.
Yes.
Oh,
All right, moving on. Shadow Step asks, "What are some of your favorite soundtracks from the N64?" Mine was F-Zero X soundtrack.
Did that even have music? Come on.
Yeah. First of all,
Yeah.
the soundtrack for Ocarina of Time is one of my favorite soundtracks ever, and that is an N64 game. Outside of that, though, I remember. First of all,
they
like
was
the
doing
big
like
ones.
matey shit when like PlayStation had CDs.
I will say that the quality of the music on N64 was not the
They
best.
had good melodies, but like the
Yeah.
quality was so antiquated.
I mean, we're not talking about the quality of the actual music being produced necessarily. We're talking about the melodies count.
Sure. Yeah. No.
I think
Oh,
like the big ones like Super Mario 64 I think has a delightful soundtrack. I think GoldenEye 64 has a pretty identifiable soundtrack that
Yeah.
I really liked.
GoldenEye, Perfect Dark.
It's just something I've never really associated with.
I just,
Sure.
I mean, I'm
64
thinking back
era.
and remembering some of these themes from various games, like fucking Pilot Wings and
I think
Blast Core, but I'm like, I don't remember those fondly.
I think I think a lot of the ones that you remember is you remember remixes of those songs in higher quality.
Wow.
I think that's what a
Yeah,
lot of the
that's true.
cases people like. Someone like SMG mentions Gerudo Valley from Ocarina of Time, and while that is a great soundtrack,
Yeah.
I think you're probably remembering like someone did a cover of it, and it sounds really good.
No. I have the soundtrack. I listen to it almost every day. Original soundtrack.
Why?
Gerudo Valley's
It's
still
a fucking
good.
fantastic soundtrack.
Yeah, I agree. Gerudo
Somebody,
Valley is a good
yeah.
soundtrack.
somebody mentions the menu music in Buck Bumble.
I guess so.
That's some pretty good music.
All right.
Banjo Kazooie did have
I'm gonna go.
good shit.
I want to go back. 'cause
some-
I have
I
the
was-
rare collection.
some-
I want to
some
go
of the
back and
Banjo
play
music was good.
Banjo Kazooie 1 and 2.
But get a PlayStation if you want. A system from that era with good music.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. KNCito. I'm going to a tournament over the weekend, and around this time, I tend to stress out about it, even though I go every year and there's not really much of an expectation to win. So I was curious to know, what
Wait,
do
what
you
kind of
guys do
tournament?
to calm yourself before doing something stressful, anxiety-inducing?
Rub
He
one
didn't
out.
say what kind of tournament.
You had to go there.
See, like jousting.
I'm assuming a game-related. Maybe
Doing
not.
what do we
Debate tournament?
what do we do to? I usually pass out.
Calm yourself down. Do like a breathing exercise or something. That shit really works. When I was, had a newborn baby in the hospital and was having panic attacks,
Malia was screaming for Brad, and he was in the corner.
I just did some breathing exercises, and I'm like, man, I feel way better. And then I played some Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how easily you can distract yourself with like fucking games and shit.
Man, I keep.
No,
That's not.
I
always an
immediately
option.
think
That
to
was
like.
Not always.
I immediately think back to our panel we did at PAX Prime, and like waiting for them to open the doors,
Mhm.
and then seeing them open the door. Like I was like, I don't know if there's gonna be nobody here or there's gonna be too many people here.
well,
and
we
they
were
op-
nervous because fucking Gus canceled. on
Yeah,
us,
Gus canceled on us, but then we had Jim Sterling there, which was great.
which we never met.
But like, yeah, so yeah, all those things were combined. Like I was nervous
General
as fuck,
social anxiety.
and then they opened the door and like 50 people come in, and I was like, well, I'm just running on pure adrenaline at this point.
Nick, I feel like out of everybody here, you're like way more like stressy. Have you ever thought about like meditation?
Thought about it? Yes.
Have you ever thought of medication?
Yes.
That's another thing.
I have. Yes. I'm a particular.
Nick loves the drugs.
When I do get stressed, I get stressed. But when I'm not stressed, I'm pretty calm.
I don't know. I guess I've never really had a very good way to cope with that. I usually do end up freaking out a lot of times, and it's not like it's just internal freaking out. I don't really like do anything crazy. I don't really like snap at people or anything, but just internally, I do have a difficult time sometimes quieting my like inner mind. Like I just like sometimes I'll think about like, oh shit, this is happening, and while there's nothing I can do about it, and I recognize that stressing won't get me anywhere and won't improve the situation I'm in, it still can be difficult.
Yeah.
To try and.
I think that I find what I find calming, soothing. This may sound weird, is to just think to myself, just remember, like, repeat in your head, like, just think, this sucks, but tomorrow life will go on. Like, who cares?
It'll get better.
Just do what you're gonna do. Don't panic. It's not like the end of the world. Just do what you're gonna do, and if it doesn't go great, whatever.
Someone asked me if I was
life
stressed
goes on
for the TwitchCon panel. I was not stressed for being on the panel because that's just talking about myself, and I do that every week, right? I was stressed before the panel because I have like general social anxiety. I don't like associating with people I don't know. So I was way more stressed before the panel than I was on the panel.
Brad doesn't even like socializing with us.
Well, you know.
All right, moving on. Next question from Andrew. What is your one game that is objectively awful, but you love anyways?
Objectively awful.
I feel like there's probably multiple to qualify.
I could probably
The
name some for you
PlayStation 4
guys.
Godzilla game.
Wait,
Get it?
fuck off, Brad.
I could probably name some of y'all's.
Yeah, name it. Tell me, Brad. What's mine?
Alan Wake.
What the fuck?
Whoa!
What the fuck?
Splinter Cell Blacklist.
What's mine,
Okay,
Brad?
no. Now he's just trying to infuriate
Yes,
us.
that's the point of the joke.
I'm glad I don't have a
Usually
firearm
like good
right
games,
now.
Nolan.
Yeah, I know. That's my problem.
I'm just fucking with y'all.
Man.
That's tough.
What's something that Nolan likes that I don't?
Yeah.
That's the point of the joke. Actually, I like Alan Wake, and I've not even played Blacklist. So.
Which is fucking sad.
What do I hate? No, what do I love but is bad?
Everything.
Someone in chat knows.
Final
I've been
Fantasy
streaming for the past 10
Well,
years.
Chris Davis has played an awful lot of Metal Gear Survive.
And The Division.
I mean, Yakuza,
I already gave you a game.
in terms of gameplay, is
Get off
bad.
my back.
Yakuza gameplay is bad, but I love Yakuza. But there are aspects of it that are great. So, like, objectively bad all around. The first Nier is a pretty bad video game. And
That's a
I
good
like
example.
it. Nier Automata is a bad video game, and I don't really like it that much.
I guess a good Metal Gear Solid 5. Wait, does it say love? I don't know if I
Objectively
love.
bad, though. I don't think you could call Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
5 objectively bad. I could see how it would be disappointing to someone
I
who's a
guess
fan
so,
of the
yeah.
series,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't
I
call
guess
the game
more
objectively
disappointing
bad.
than-
Like the first
Bad.
40 hours of that game is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like someone just coming in and playing
The
that game for the
Division.
first time would
You've
get
already
something more
made
out of
that
it.
the joke.
Oh, Yak
Fire
Jack Rings
me.
of Alpha Protocol.
Alpha Protocol is a bad game, and I love it. Yeah.
Waiting for
Objectively,
Carlos to pop up.
objectively bad, but I love it. Oh man,
I can't think of any that I like. Brad said I like good games. is the
half
problem.
of the James Carlos plays.
I'm pretty pleased with my game choices, so...
Fuck all of y'all.
No, for me, it's honestly like I don't think there's any games that I've played that if most of the time if a game's bad, I just don't play it.
Well, what about State of Decay 2? You said that's kind of in a lot of ways objectively bad, but you still really like it.
I mean, if you want to,
It's bad because mainly the bugs.
yeah.
Batman Arkham Origins,
That's
according to
fixable.
Crispy?
That's not a
See,
gameplay
Scarecrow, you
design
can't say
problem.
Binding of Isaac because that's a good game.
What about Batman Arkham Origins? Crispy would have me believe that's an objectively bad game.
Arkham Origins isn't a bad game. It's just a mediocre game.
Okay.
Mediocre.
I don't know. I like
Objectively
kind of like
bad.
Chris, kind of like Nolan. If I come across something that I genuinely think is a bad game, I don't usually play it and retain it in my memory.
But see, Clef, that's another good example of a game that is bad, and then I played it, and I'm like, I don't enjoy playing this, and I.
You're talking about Senran Kagura?
Yeah, Senran Kagura.
But only after 10 hours of shoving sushi rolls of girls' butts.
Big Wazoo's got a good one. Two Worlds 2.
You love that game, Brad?
I fucking... I put it on my top 10 that year?
I feel like Brad would have a lot because Brad plays a lot of like jank JRPGs and enjoys them despite their problems. Oh! How about someone brought up Silent Hill? I do like all of those games despite the fact that there are some stinkers. I feel like
Downpour?
No, I think Downpour. I think I was gonna say I was gonna go with Homecoming. Downpour, I think, is a fantastic game. I think it's a terribly underrated game. But I do admit, Homecoming has some problems. But I played that, when I was doing my series run, and I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Roland Hungus, PS3 Twisted Metal is not bad, objectively or spiritually. It's maybe the best Twisted Metal.
Oh, how about you were Twisted Metal? I remember how I said Vigilante 8. I was like, whoa, like way too fucking addicted to Vigilante 8 when I was younger.
Well.
Did it?
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't really following reviews back in the day when that was.
Didn't
it
get
was
a
thing,
sequel?
So.
Yeah. Second Offense.
Yeah, and I like I like that one a lot too.
Deadly Premonition's one for a lot of people.
Yeah, I didn't play that one.
There we go. There's one. Resident Evil 6.
But no, no one likes that game.
There are those people.
There are those people.
They exist.
There are those people.
Well,
But like they were asking us. None of us like it.
Someone likes a game. I'm sure there's plenty of shitty games out there people like, but they don't care about those people. We care about us. That's the point.
Good question. I don't know.
All right, it's a good question, but we need to move on.
Yeah,
It's been too long on it.
I don't know. Next question from Zero Skies. What state that you've never been to would you visit and why? Personally, I'd like to visit the state of happiness.
That sounds like you're
so
going to
depressing. So depressing.
Colorado.
Hawaii.
I would like. You've never been to Colorado?
Hawaii.
I've never been to Hawaii.
I've been to Hawaii. Now is not a good time to go.
Obviously.
Well, no, it's not a good time to go to the Big Island.
Maybe I'd say Alaska. I've never been to Alaska. I'd go to Alaska.
I had an opportunity to go when I was just out of high school, but I couldn't afford it.
I would like to go.
Hawaii and Alaska excluded. Why is that a rule?
No one said continental.
Yeah.
I would like to go to Idaho.
Okay.
Stop it, Nick. Stop
Idaho.
You don't want to go to Idaho.
I know. I really have no interest in going to Idaho. Idaho is one of those states that
I guess
often
there's a lot
exists.
of northeastern states I have never been to, like Maine, Rhode Island, New Hampshire. How does the Northeast work? I don't know how maps work.
We're already in Texas.
All right.
That's the best.
That's accurate, actually. But yeah, I guess
I've been to all the states that I have a legitimate interest in going to.
Have you been to Nebraska?
Maybe you're just
Nick?
not very cultured and you don't know about all the cool shit that's.
Oh no, I'm
states you haven't
sure.
been to.
But I mean, not that I'm saying I wouldn't go to them, but like the things that I actually think about. That's where I want to. I want to go there one day. I think I've been to all of them. Robin has family in Wyoming, and I've never been. I would kind of like to do that. But I feel like that's more of just because I'd like to go.
Don't go there.
Yeah, Wyoming.
Have you been to Nevada, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I've driven through Nevada. Does that count?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go to Nevada, it's either Vegas or Reno.
Yeah, I go to
I've never been to Vegas.
North Carolina and watch the bridge, the low bridge, like Eric and Chad said.
All right, moving on. Final question from the night from Zerby. Are there any trailers, games, or movies that you go back to and watch years later after the product that came out?
Yes.
What are they and why, if any, from Washington
The Two
State?
Towers trailer.
Oh man,
The final Two Towers trailer is so good.
The Halo 3
Oh,
announcement
man.
trailer?
I there's so many trailers that I.
The final Two Towers trailer that had the Requiem for a Dream remix. Remember that? Y'all remember
Yes.
that trailer?
I remember.
Shit was good.
I really liked the trailer for. Let's see.
Bernadette knows my answer to this.
What
Wait, what's-
business does an elf, a man, and a dwarf have in the rhythm of? Speak quickly!
I really like the trailer for The Bourne Legacy a lot.
Wow.
I've watched that. I mean, I like that movie a lot, but in particular, I like the trailer.
The original announcement trailer for Metal Gear Solid 2?
Wait, video game trailers?
We're talking video games or
It
said
said
trailers in
game,
general.
movies, whatever. Yeah.
I feel like
Witcher trailers I watch sometimes.
I feel like
Witcher 3.
I feel less interested in watching trailers for games for some reason, but movies, I feel like
That's
watching
weird,
trailers
man.
for movies is
You're
long
weird.
after the fact is
You're
easier.
weird.
I get teary-eyed in the Witcher 3 launch trailer.
That was a good trailer. For me, the original gameplay trailer for Skyrim.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
That was
like ask
like
Bernadette.
the first like the reveal.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
ask Bernadette.
That's another like.
I've probably watched that trailer this year at least 15 times. I go back and watch that trailer all the fucking time.
I love that trailer. I've never even finished Skyrim. I don't even like really love Skyrim that much, but because of my love for Morrowind, seeing Skyrim for the first time made me, I'm just like Elder Scrolls.
Dude, I all of the talking in that trailer I have like memorized. Because I've seen that trailer so many times.
I did a top 10 about this years ago.
Yeah, you did.
A couple more movies.
Twilight Princess announcement. Go ahead.
You totally just fucking derailed my thought. Casino Royale. I think the first trailer they ever released for that movie was fucking awesome. I've watched that a few times recently. Oh, Jesus Christ. There was like 3 others that I had in my head, and you just made me forget all of them. Sometimes I go back and watch that Prey 2 trailer, and cry.
You don't? You mean the gameplay demonstration?
I guess
or
that was
the
a gameplay
Yeah, that was a
No,
game.
No, there was a cinematic
The
trailer.
cinematic
I guess-
trailer was like
The cinematic
kind
trailer,
of a
yeah.
summation of what we saw gameplay wise.
Yeah,
That one's pretty good.
that one was good.
I really like the trailer, the new Mission Impossible trailer.
It
I
is
have a
pretty
feeling I'm
good.
going to go back and watch that one after that movie comes out.
haven't seen
Even
that.
if the movie's not great, which it's not that I think that's going to happen, but if it's not great, I feel like I would go back probably and watch that trailer.
The Last
a
of Us
lot.
had a good trailer.
Last of Us had a good trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Everything has good trailers.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Trailers
else.
are pretty fucking dope. I love trailers. That's why it's so hard to like resist watching them.
Pocop was Dead Island. The original Dead Island trailer.
yeah.
That was a good trailer. The
Yeah.
game sucked balls.
Ooh.
But good trailer.
Absolutely. There's probably so many answers to this question.
Yeah.
I just love watching trailers, even if it's something I've already seen before. So
All right. Anyway, that's all the questions for tonight. Thanks to all our patrons for asking those lovely questions. Once again, every week we post a thread in Patreon where if you donate at least $1 or more a month, you can ask us any question you like.
question you want, even if it's about nipples on your elbows.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's time to wrap up the show, everybody. So you know how this goes: hype, sweat, thank you, and fuck you. Brad, are you ready to go?
Yeah, it's funny that question earlier because this is probably not going to be super short because I have some things I want to say. First hype, I'm going to go with they released some gameplay footage and discussion for the Donkey Kong Rabbids, like the Donkey Kong expansion to Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. And it's like looks really good. There's like 4 new areas just for him. It's almost like a sequel. And like Donkey Kong does like he plays way differently than the other characters because part of his movement is he can pick anything up. He can pick up enemies and throw them. He can pick up allies and throw them. He can pick up parts of the environment and throw them. Like big crates of bombs and shit. He can like it looks really fucking cool. Y'all should check it out if y'all like.
I do want to play more of that game. That game was great.
Yeah. I'm also kind of hyped if this rumor about Smash Brothers is real. I don't include it in the news because it's kind of
I
unsubstantiated.
didn't hear about this.
But there's a rumor that that Ridley from the Metroid series and Simon Belmont from the Castlevania series is in, along with Ice Climbers or whatever. But whatever. I guess kind of my fuck you and hype all in one is going to be this Yasumi Matsuno stuff that's been coming out.
Oh,
a
I
lot
forgot
lately.
about that.
There's been a lot. Yasumi Matsuno has been doing a lot of interviews. He's been streaming Final Fantasy Tactics, and it makes me wonder if like something's going to happen with him soon. Like he has a project coming soon. I don't really know, but he's been out there a lot, and he's notoriously like kind of not been that person. He's the one who disappeared off the face of the planet in the middle of after he got kicked off of Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
And it was years later he showed back up as one of the writers on Mad World. That was on the Wii. That was a big gap where people just didn't know what he was doing or where he was at. But what he, as part of this interview or the stream or whatever, he showed off like pictures, like screenshots, like images, like concept art and stuff from the canceled Final Fantasy Tactics 2, a proper sequel to Final Fantasy Tactics,
which was hex based.
Also, before,
which is the one thing that Brad's wanted forever.
Before Final Fantasy Tactics, the first one, it was originally envisioned as like an ogre battle style game, but in the Final Fantasy universe. And he even showed off artwork and stuff of like these Final Fantasy characters in the ogre battle style, and that shit was fucking cool looking, man. Like, so cool looking. I love ogre battle. And something else about I have it written down here. I don't remember. It was he was originally going to be doing another ogre battle game before Quest got bought by Square, which I thought was kind of crazy. Also, the original title for Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen, was Ogre Battle Somebody to Love. He's like obsessed with Queen in all his titles and sub. Ogre Battle is a Queen song. Somebody to Love is a Queen song. I just thought that was funny. But yeah.
What was the last project he worked
on? Oh no, my mic is super low. The last project he worked on? Well, he worked with Square Enix on doing all the Ivalice stuff for Final Fantasy XIV.
Okay.
And he's still actively working with them, I think. So he's in good graces with Square Enix. We kind of need him to maybe direct a good, real project. Unsung Story doesn't count. Shut up.
That's nice.
Shut up. Cool.
You done, Brad?
Yes.
All right, my 4-player minute starts now. My sweat is for Detroit Become Human. That comes out tomorrow. I was kind of hyped on it leading up to that that gameplay demo that came out not too long ago, and I'm still like, I don't know. I'm worried. We'll see.
Don't worry, man.
I don't have it like pre-order or anything. I don't know if I'm gonna get it from Redbox. I don't think it's in Redbox. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to. I don't know.
All the haters out there are just lazy fucking haters. I thought you were hyped for this shit.
I was for a while, but now it comes out tomorrow, and
it's getting pretty good reviews.
Yeah, all right.
But you also got to understand there's like a cult of personality kind of against David Cage and Quantum, so I'm not surprised the scores are lower. Yeah. But I've heard some.
All right, I'm switching it to a hype.
I've heard some people saying that it's the best Quantum Dream game.
I'm hyped for it now. Yeah. After that 30-second conversation, I'm hyped for it again. The hype's back. I should probably get it in some capacity because I don't have it in any way right now. My sweat is for State of Decay 2. I was nothing but hype leading up to that game. And then I was so fucking excited when I booted it up for the first time, and to mediocrity. There's a lot of issues with that game, and I've all but decided I'm going to put it down for now and revisit it once they've fixed a couple of things, because I want to love this game. I don't want to end this year on like a mediocre note for State of Decay 2. I want to end this year in love with that game. So I'm going to put it down for a while. I'm going to hope that Undead Labs patches a couple of things, does a couple of things to make it a better experience, and I'll revisit it. My sweat is for Solo, a Star Wars film story tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it on Sunday.
There's no way I'm going to be able to convince Malia to see that this weekend.
Yeah.
Memorial Day weekend, I mean, it's going to be jam-packed.
Yeah, it will be. I don't know what to think about that. I was never super excited for it in the first place.
It sounds like all the things that people were worried about for that movie turned out to not really be the problem.
Maybe.
And it's just it's more of just people are like, why does this exist?
I think the problem is that we've been getting a Star Wars thing every year for the past several years.
Yeah, that is true. We're getting
a
little burnt out.
But I also kind of feel like that criticism is just kind of like,
it's kind of losing its magic.
Well, I will say I do like a lot of the actors in the film, so that's one of the things that is kind of exciting.
And isn't the movie supposed to be about everything that we knew about Han Solo's past is also just happens to be in this movie?
Like, it's supposedly
like, the Kessel Run.
The Kessel Run.
You know, he got the Millennium Falcon, and everything we knew about him is
this is how he got X thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is a little contrived, but whatever.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll see. And then my thank you goes to John Erler and the crew from Master Pancake. I had a really good time at the Indiana Jones The Last Crusade. It was, like I said, one of the best Master Pancakes I've ever been to. If you were ever in Austin, do your damnedest to go see a Master Pancake. It doesn't matter what movie it is. It literally does not matter. You could hate the movie. That's probably the best one to go to.
Yeah.
Just because they are hilarious.
It was a little long,
I guess. But also for the fact that they picked my phrase for the drinking game. So
Rigged.
Cool.
how is it rigged?
They picked your choice. So you
What?
That's not what rigged means.
Yeah.
My hype, because my 4-player minute starts now. My hype is once again E3. This is feeling like my fucking year.
Give me
for
something
E3.
specific. Everybody's been saying E3 for weeks now.
He's hyped for the Division 2.
Division
There you
2, Splinter Cell 7,
Anything
Ace Combat
non-Tom
7,
He said one thing.
Rage 2. There's just so many fucking things. Metro Exodus. I am fucking hyped for so many fucking things that are going to be there. I can't wait to fucking play everything and maybe just only end up playing like 3 of them because the lines are filled with public people.
Public people.
Public heathens. God help.
Hey, we have a whole 3 hours on
Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday, I think.
one of those, yeah.
My sweat, it's going to a combination of State of Decay 2 and Battletech. State of Decay 2, I beat it. I think I've experienced most of the game has to offer, except for like exploring the other 2 maps in the game.
Except for the entire other 2 maps.
Yeah.
Of the game.
I was really upset about the New Game Plus thing, but I think I'll deal with it and maybe try to take my group to the 3rd map, because I hear something happens if you take a community to a new map.
Cool.
I don't
don't
know what it
spoil
is,
it.
but I'm going to find out. Also, Battletech, I tried doing a story mission yesterday. And
Where was it? What was it called?
I forget what it was, but you had to go. You had to go and capture this like ammunition depot, and there were like trucks that were going to drive away
There
from
is
it.
a notorious difficulty spike in the story.
So I went and did that mission. I split up my mechs, and I did the exact wrong order of sending my guys where they needed to be. And like within 5 turns, I'd already had a mech that was knocked down and getting fucking destroyed. So I fucking rage quit, and I'm like, I'm scared to like, what happens when I come back and load this game up again? Is it still gonna be down? Is it gonna be fucking punishing me? I don't know. I'm worried. My thank you this week once again goes to Nick, because he's been handling a bunch of the scheduling for E3. We nailed down an appointment with a pretty well-known developer this week that I'm pretty fucking hyped about. We even discussed in the Discord privately.
I mean, there's really no point in... I mean, we don't know what the game...
We know what it is, basically.
I mean, we're pretty sure we know what it is, but like they haven't told us. There's really nothing that... We're not going to break
What's the
embargo.
developer?
It's Techland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, there's rumors going
going
Yeah,
around.
there's
So, I
rumors.
mean, like, you know... And if that rumor proves true, then holy fucking shit, this E3 is going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be fucking great. Yeah, so thank you for making all those
But
appointments when you can.
I'm assuming that you're right.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
And my fuck you goes to a combination of Activision and Battlefield fucking fanboys. We didn't discuss it last week, but they announced Black Ops 4, which doesn't have a single player campaign, which is fucking stupid in my mind because they want to have a battle royale mode instead. So
There's also a lot of talk about there really is a story campaign, but they didn't finish it in
all
time.
the story is built into the fucking narrative of your custom characters.
Yeah, but dude,
All that. Like,
give it
fuck that.
Give it 6 months, and I bet that game has a proper campaign patch.
No
like,
way.
Even if it's DLC
No
or
way.
something.
No
I
way.
wouldn't be surprised.
No.
Oh,
The
well.
most story you're gonna get is like fucking zombies shit. Fuck that, no.
Is it Smith?
And then wait, what?
Is Smith in the BattleTech map you're on?
Maybe, I think that sounds right.
Smithin?
Is that it? Is it the?
Yeah, that's the one that I think that's the one that everyone's like, that's
Shit.
impossible.
I only went in there with 3 heavy mechs. I went in with a medium mech. And the other part of my fuck you is to the Battlefield fucking fanboys that are freaking the fuck out about 5 because they revealed it yesterday and it's World War II. But they got really pissy at the fact that The standard cover of the game features a female soldier.
Yep, of course,
and
they're
saying
about this.
it's for historical accuracy and that women didn't fight in World War II. Like that's number one, fucking bullshit.
That is
But the
completely
problem,
incorrect.
And number
I read
two,
a comment today is like the problem with this is I don't know if it's just like actual creative intent or just agenda pushing. You know, the SJWs just trying to push an agenda or actually what the creator wants to do.
like, it's
Fuck off and
fuck
die.
them. The only great thing about this bullshit controversy is that those fucking fanboys who are just freaking the fuck out about it, they have to spend $10 extra to buy the digital deluxe version, which doesn't have a woman on the cover.
Or
So fuck them.
except for the fact that some
That
people will
$10
probably
is going right into the pocket of the SJWs.
I guess.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, fuck them.
Oh, my.
Nick, your turn.
All right, let's see. I have a few hypes this week. Since Brad wants specifics, I'm getting pretty excited for fucking E3. And I know I'm getting to the specifics, man. There's so much to be excited for. Like Chris Davis mentioned, we have some appointments with some exciting stuff so far, like the potential for, and there's like you said, there's rumors floating around that we're going to see an announcement for Dying Light 2, which was one of my most favorite games of what was that, 2016 or
2015?
It's
was it
not really
2015?
Yes.
Fuck
January
me.
2015.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Someone check that. Someone fact check that. Anyways, either way, it doesn't matter. Fucking Dying Light is it's for me it's one of my favorite zombie games ever made. I'm so fucking excited. I just really hope this is a proper like sequel and not like some battle royale.
How about we get a Left 4 Dead 3?
I would love to see a Left 4 Dead, dude,
Or anything out of Valve that's not a fucking card
I
game.
am hype for E3 because I feel like every single publisher is kind of set up to.
It's going to be the E3 of dreams.
I'm not saying it's gonna be. I'm not saying like everything that we've talked about is going to come to pass, but like. First of all, Sony talked about 4 things that they're definitely are going to be focusing on their show. I am fucking hyped for all 4 of those games. Mm-hmm. On top of that, we're going to be seeing all kinds of third-party announcements from Sony.
Anthem?
And, dude, Devil May Cry 5 is looking more and more likely by the day. I'm interested to find out more about Anthem.
I feel like people really cooled on Anthem.
Well, that's because we haven't seen it again since then.
Yeah.
Once we see it in action, people will be
stuff.
hyped all over again. Ghost of Tsushima, I think I'm super fucking excited to see that. Like I said, go back and listen to our E3 prediction show. It's 2 episodes ago. We talked for almost 3 hours about our hopes and dreams for E3, and there is so much to be hyped for. I know it's not all gonna happen, and that kind of leads into one of my sweats. I think we were talking about the infamous Walmart leak and how we were like, well, Rage 2 is real, so everything on that list is probably real. But it's confirmed that Borderlands 3 is not going to be at E3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Borderlands 3 was on that Walmart leak, so I'm wondering how much of the other stuff is maybe not true.
No, but Gearbox is hosting a event back in like June or July that's separate from E3 for an unannounced title that pretty much everyone knows is Borderlands 3.
Okay, fair enough.
Plus,
Fair enough.
there's a press
not
event.
at E3, that doesn't mean that shit can't be on a stage at a press conference because that's not technically E3.
Yeah.
That's the only place I think it would be.
Wow.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you could be on a stage at a press conference and could technically not be at E3.
I don't think it's what they mean.
Like
though.
literally yesterday was the Battlefield 5 reveal.
I know.
I mean,
That's
they
fair.
could do it just like that.
They
It's
could have
just
a
a sweat. It's just a sweat. I know the odds are in its favor, and I know we're probably going to get a lot of those things. I know Splinter Cell is probably going to happen. I know Just Cause 4 is probably going to happen. I'm just saying, I'm also worried some of those things will not happen, because some of them do seem a little unlikely. Like, I think the new Gears of War game seems a little fucking unlikely.
Microsofty? Yeah.
It's been 2 years since Gears 4.
It's so boring, right?
Yes!
Like the thought of a new Gears of War
I
is
couldn't
so
even-
boring.
don't
couldn't
give a
even get the
shit.
Gears
It's like so Microsoft. There's
Dude,
going to be a new
I-
Forza
I-
and a new Gears.
And when I was in college, I won a copy of Gears of War 2, a sealed copy. No, I traded it into GameStop. I didn't even fucking open it.
Well, first of all, Gears of
I
War
have
2
no interest
Gears
in
of War
that.
1 and 2 are pretty good. But, like, man, that series
Well, the
is...
first 3 Gears are pretty good.
Maybe. Point is, also, talking about hype, I think Microsoft could totally surprise everybody. I think all of the publishers have the potential to surprise everybody with some cool shit. I'm not saying it's all going to happen, but I think there's going to be some cool shit at most of these press conferences.
What if the new Gears of War is just called Gears of War, and instead of the behind-the-shoulder camera, it's like a zoomed-out like camera, and it's like
isometric?
A hack and slash.
Oh.
They do reverse of what God of War
Is Marcus
did.
Phoenix still alive?
Oh my God! Shut up!
They do
shut
the
up.
reverse of God of War.
I was going to say, what if he has like a kid?
He's in 4. You play.
I don't know a shit. I don't know shit about Gears of War.
Not only is he in 4, you play as his son.
I got 2 more guys. I have 2 more to
making bad
go.
jokes about Gears of War, and you're giving us real lore.
I have 2 more to go.
There's lore,
Guys, I have 2
No
more.
one
to fucking
cares.
Go.
Then hurry up, Nick.
Go.
Say it.
You won't stop talking.
Say it.
My other sweat goes to Amazon pre-orders.
Why?
There's talk. I mean, so right now,
Best Buy's gone.
Best Buy's game club is gone,
Which means Amazon
What?
is going to be gone too.
and so you know how you get 20% off when you pre-order through
Yeah.
Amazon. I pre-order like everything through Amazon because I get that 20% off.
Sure.
You can't pre-order Sony first-party games through Amazon right now. They all say
Unavailable.
currently unavailable.
But you
Yeah.
understand, Amazon
thing is,
only started doing that because of Best Buy.
I know.
Well,
and that's-
Amazon, what they used to do was when you pre-ordered a game, you got a credit on your account for X amount. And then they stopped that. And then after like 2 years, then like maybe even longer, that's when they started doing if you have Prime and you pre-order.
I mean,
you get a discount.
luckily, once
can
you
always
pre-order
change
it,
it.
luckily once you pre-order it, you're locked into that rate. So I've already pre-ordered like everything that I know is coming out that I'm gonna get on day one. I've pre-ordered. So I got Spider-Man locked in. I got all that shit. But I've been paying less than $60 for games for so long. It's gonna really suck when that goes away. So, but I think it's coming. I'm bracing for it.
But the pre-order thing's only for Prime members, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Who's not a Prime member?
My last hype is for Days Gone, man. I don't know why. That game is just really, really sounding more and more interesting to me. I've been reading a lot about it, reading all the Game Informer coverage, hearing a lot of people talking about it after E3 Judges Week, all this stuff. I'm just, I have high hopes for that game. And I know it doesn't speak to a lot of people, and some people kind of write it off as being like too similar to The Last of Us or whatnot. But like the whole concept, of like roaming the lands on your motorcycle and like having to like salvage gas from like cars and like being always kind of being alert to like these zombies that are really fast and like running in groups and shit. Like that sounds really fucking exciting.
Well, I hope it's good.
I really hope
But something has got to be the next order. The Order.
But like the thing is, like,
1886.
first of all, that's a totally different animal. But like that game had redeeming qualities. I don't think that was like a complete shit show. If anything, it was just too short. I don't know.
It was also too squashed.
Rise to.
Oh God. Anyways, that's it. The show's over, guys. Thank you so much for listening. 4playernetwork.com is, of course, the website where you can find all of our podcast episodes. You can watch us stream games every single night at 4pp.tv or on Twitch at twitch.tv/4playerpodcast. You can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. We're going to be updating our Patreon campaign here pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that. And, of course, discord.gg/4player is where you can find our community Discord. You can join us every day in that Discord. We're always in there talking about games and movies and E3 and all that good shit. And like I said at the beginning of the show, we hope you guys will join us for our week of E3 coverage starting on June 10th. We'll be doing podcasts and E3 themed streams all week long. It should be fun. And if you have any thoughts, questions, comments at all about all the shit going down at E3 throughout the week, send me an email at nick@4playernetwork.com throughout the week, and I will read those at the beginning of all those podcast episodes. All right. That's it. That's all we got for you this week, guys. So we will see you guys next Thursday at around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Later.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
See ya.